my girl, nigga. Honestly, I always been a real nigga. I think I must have been born in Phipps, nigga. If she bad, I'ma give her a tip, nigga. It's a long, no smoking, no sip, nigga. They don't try me 'cause my brothers tip, niggas. Nigga, let's get it, let's go. Nigga, let's get it. Yeah, nigga, let's get it, let's go.
This is a remix.
Young nigga laying it, riding at 285 and I speed it. Popping standing, I feel like a demon.
On the street, nigga, don't hold up my style. I should rock a Lamborghini, black and white like a cow. Put shit up in my pocket, nigga, it's the 40 cow. They be seeing a nigga ball a nigga, here they come to fight, baby.
All of my dreams may be vivid. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I came a long way from geeking up in the class. Yeah, I came a long way from geeking up in the class. What you making on the rip? I spend it all on my game. Now I keep it on the guap through the pills in the trash.
I might kick it with the slime, yeah, niggas say slap. In the trap with the big blood, niggas say black. Every day that I'm waking up, I think about the rest. And I gotta thank God that I still ain't get wet. I'm in love with the money, I'm crashing on the band. Sometimes I wish the hundreds had an S that I could tell. All these drugs got me keeping thinking on it, that's a fact. Smoking on the bit wood, call it baseball bat. And I know I would do it, cause these niggas all cap.
And we keep going up and they start where they at. The whole real beat when I'm sipping on the act. Told the bitch to toot it up, I'ma hit it from the back. Then I set a pack and my shooter cut the slack. Green thing with the cheese in it, just a little rat. If we find out that he's stitching, we gon' knock him out the mouth. Look to the front door, we ain't talking on the app. I can buy a couple bands with some numbers on the app.
You keep blowing up my phone and no, I won't hit you back. I'm coming with the wind on the ran off with your beret. I will never understand why these niggas they just be liking. New rats, yeah. Let's get back to the hundreds in the back.
All the smoke, we want all the smoke. We want all the smoke. I'm with all the smoke. Here I come, bring it down with that ratchet. Follow him to the studio, let him have it. And I'm hopping at the Billy with the automatic. Ain't right in the head, let these niggas have it. Made these niggas dance. Boom, in the car, make it better. I see how you come. 29, we ain't gon' be long. We want all the smoke, when you're there, pop the smoke. We looking for more. I just hope that your pussy niggas stay afloat. AK with the smoke, Uzi got the scope. Shoot that nigga right there in the throat. You cannot spin never smoke. The nigga decide he broke. Then do your man he broke. Moving around the eyes of my throat. Nigga try to pull my throat. Put it right on your dome. Get that on the multiple strong. I heard that dodge on my bro. Let's get it, let's go. All my niggas with this shit. They all niggas know. I'ma pull up with the stick. We here with it, bro. I'ma pull up for your bitch. I'ma give them more. I gon' give a dope. Stupid up in the way, so swinging these niggas gon' check in the coat. Hit up with my 35 in the coupe. These niggas can go. I got the dope in the boat. I fucked your mama, now she won't get it low on all the smoke. All the smoke. I want all the smoke. We want all the smoke. We want all the smoke. We want all the smoke. And I'm hopping at the Billy. And I'm hopping at the Billy. With automatic. Chopper ain't right in the head. Let these niggas have it. Made these niggas vanish. Something more. Throw them in the car. Vanish. I want the land, but I know it's a check. She's like a nigga, she know I'm next. I work it in.
What's up, everybody? Can you hear me? We are on episode number 17 of Spooky Sunday, and I just want to stop and thank you guys for all being here tonight, for hanging out with me. I'm really excited about tonight's guest. His name is Bleed. He's a sound designer, a producer, a musician from New Hampshire, and I think that you guys are really going to enjoy tonight's episode. He's a great vibe, and we're going to go grab him right now.
Yeah,
Yo, what's up, Bleed?
What's up, brother?
Bro, I apologize, man. I ruined the intro, bro. We had two audios playing at once, so I apologize for that, you guys.
Oh, damn, no, it's all good, bro.
It'd be like that.
For some reason, the video that you sent me to use, it was it had audio on it, but it wasn't showing in OBS that it had audio on it.
Oh, was it just blasting the music?
Yeah, but it's all good, man. We're not gonna go back and edit that or anything. But hey, what's up, Bleed? I appreciate you for being here with us tonight, man. Thank you for agreeing to join us for episode 17 of Spooky Sunday, brother. I'm grateful to have you.
I'm grateful for the opportunity for platforming me. I think you're a dope dude. You're the right person to do it too.
I'm the only person to do it, bro. I'm gonna get a little cocky here. I'm the only one.
Person. I think you're the top of the lane right now. You're coming up quick.
Let's go, baby. I couldn't do it without you, so I appreciate you for pulling up and making history with us. Also, November, thank you for coming and being a part of the legendary episode. And everybody else that's in the voice channel right now, my friend Devin. Welcome, hey, brother. Sexy. It's good to see you. I'm happy to have you. Devin's a huge supporter around here. I stole him from Swain, so we had Swain on here. And he's a little bit of a Swain stan, and he came for the vibes, and he stayed because he was like, whoa, there's some cool stuff happening around here. Am I right, Devin?
It's more than cool. It's interesting, bro. You got a good community base built, like right when I joined, right off the bat. You had viewers, and every week you surprise me because you get better and you ask better questions, and it's just so well put together. I want to be a part of it. That's what it is.
Thank you for the love, bro. Like I said earlier, guys, if you watched the intro, I had two audios playing at once. That was my bad, guys. Please forgive me. It will never happen again. But I was trying to play Bleed's music. We're going to go back to playing that. But as everybody here knows, Bleed, I'm going to tell you too, since you're pretty new around here as well. Spooky Sunday isn't just about spotlighting a new special guest every week. It is also about bringing the community together, bringing value to the community. And that involves us doing something for Spooky Sunday, which is very community oriented. Am I right, Brutal? And that is Spooky Sunday submissions. I'm going to pull it up on stream so you guys can see it. These are new rules that were implemented to Spooky Sunday just today. The idea, like if you guys are new around here, the idea is for Spooky Sunday to be a place to have your music played. If you're an upcoming artist or musician, I feel like a lot of people that are first starting out are discouraged because, and tell me if I'm wrong, Bleed, but when you're first getting going or you're a smaller artist, I feel like it's discouraging because you feel like nobody's going to listen to your music.
Oh yeah, you gotta just put everything out when you're first starting off. You gotta just throw everything at the wall and see what people are rocking with.
Also,
that's the best way to do it.
Also, before we forget, did you send your mom the link to the stream?
Oh yeah, I got it to her.
All right,
cool. We're all good in that department.
Awesome. Just wanted to make sure, bro. And also, if you guys are in the VC and you're able to, please pull up the stream on YouTube on your phone and mute it for me because we have big goals around here. One of those big goals is to hit 1,000 subs. Why do I need 1,000 subs? So we can partner with YouTube, okay? This is huge. This is going to be a really big deal. I'll explain more in a little bit. The other part of partnering with YouTube is having 4,000 hours of watch time within a 1-year period. That's like an average of 333 or so hours a month of watch time on people watching our channel. It sounds easy. It is not easy to do. Not for me anyway. So if you guys are able to pull it up, I appreciate it. It means a lot. Today's stream is sponsored by Spooky Gang. So you see the link down below, spooky.land. That's where you can cop spooky merch. That's going to be like the best way to support to help us grow. Ideally, I would love to have an actual space, Bleed, where I could like fly you into the studio and we could actually hang out in person. But until that happens, this will do.
That would be so awesome.
Also,
when the Spooky Land headquarters gets built.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be huge. the more sales of merch that I have, the closer we are to having like an established brick and mortar retail shop, bro. Ideally, one of my huge goals, Bleed, is to have a shop where, you know, you could come in, you could buy a cup of coffee, the best coffee in town, you could cop some merch, and then next door we'll have a venue where I'm putting on free shows, and I'm putting on like all the artists that I fuck with, everybody that's in the underground, and really trying to create a more real place for the community. Right now we're only on like YouTube and Discord, but further down the road, I would love to have an actual physical location where people could come in, say what's up. And then, like I said, have like a venue. And imagine this, Bleed. The venue I'll have set up just like my streaming. Multiple cameras, different angles, and we could stream every single show. How sick would that be?
With a live audience? That would be awesome.
So even if you weren't in Minneapolis, you would still be able to hop on YouTube and still be part of the show.
That would be. I haven't seen anyone do that either.
Thank you, bro.
That would be great.
Thank you, bro.
You could follow it up with a performance too. It'd be on some tiny desk type shit, but with an interview attached. That's a good ass idea.
I'm just trying to do something crazy, man. Like, you know, a lot of the things that I try to do. We were talking a little earlier before the show started, but I was saying like giving back to the community is a huge part of what we're doing. You know, creating value. It's like I want Spooky Sunday to feel like more of a gift to somebody, you know, like I want it to benefit you guys. If you're in the chat, if you're a musician, if you're a producer, go check out this new channel that we created today under the Spooky Sunday category. It's called Entry and Submissions. Okay, these are the new rules that are going to be implemented into Spooky Sundays going forward. It sounds a little, you know, it might be a little strict or whatever, but we have to regulate to make this right. We have to keep it a little regulated to make sure that it's not abused by people. One of the main things that I want to do with Spooky Sunday is to spotlight a new special guest every single week. As you guys have already guessed or already know, tonight we will be spotlighting Bleed. He's my friend. He's somebody that I've been following on Twitter for years. I love your vibes, bro. You've been very active, and I've seen you have, like, we can get into it, but all kinds of crazy viral tweets that have nothing to do with music. You're just a really fun person, and you're an awesome producer and sound designer, and like I said, I'm grateful to have you. So today we are going to be honoring Bleed, but also part of Spooky Sunday is listening to community music. All right, so the vision that I have, all right, sorry if I'm like long-winded, you guys. The vision that I have is to help my community build positive habits of creating, because as an artist, I feel like there's nothing more important than to keep creating, Bleed. I think that if you're an artist, you need to create art. I think that it's good for you. I think it's good for your mental health. I think that it's good for the people around you to enjoy your art. I think it's a good way for you to be remembered.
It's a muscle. I think it's a muscle that you have to work out often. You know, I think that's one of those things you got to work into your day, is just opening up your DAW, making something. Or even just having fun with whatever it is. Doesn't even have to be some big project or whatever. Just working that muscle, you know?
Even if it's not a DAW, a sketchbook, a canvas.
Any type of outlet for your creativity.
Whatever you guys do, it's huge. And I do plan to have other artists on too that aren't musicians and producers or videographers or YouTube channels. I want to have some physical artists on here that paint and stuff like that too. So I think that it's going to be really fun. But these are the rules going forward, guys, for Spooky Sundays. We're trying to encourage brand new music to be played, okay? So the idea is you make a new song this week so we can play it on stream that Sunday, all right? I think that that's a cool idea, Bleed, because it's like a challenge in a way, you know? It's like you have all week to work on something. And if it doesn't pan out that week, you can always submit it the next week. We're really just looking for something new and fresh, okay, guys? So the rule number one going forward is going to be submit your own music, not somebody else's. I think that that's important because I want to make sure that this isn't being abused. You know, you're not just putting on somebody that has nothing to do with the community. I think that if you're here, you have to submit it for yourself, because I want to help you for being here. If that makes sense, Bleed.
That makes sense to me.
The second rule, guys, is the song that you submit, it has to be new. Okay. If it's unreleased, I think that's fine for now. We're going to kind of tweak things as we go. In the past Spooky Sundays, we've had people submit like, 3 or 4 of their songs, and they had released them, a few months ago and stuff. And that was fine for now. But as we grow and we like do more with this weekly live stream series. I want to make sure that we're really focusing on the whole point, which is new music and to motivate and to give you guys a reason to keep creating. Because I promise you, it doesn't matter if I think the song is good. It doesn't matter if, whatever. Not everybody's going to love your art, right, Bleed?
Well, that's true. People hate my music sometimes.
So you really have to put out music for yourself. At the end of the day, it has to be for you, in my opinion. That's just what I think. What do you think about that, Bleed? Am I totally off base there?
No, I think you're right on the money with that. You're not going to continue to do it and become successful if you're not loving what you're doing. At the end of the day, for me at least, if you're having fun, you're going to keep doing it regardless.
Bro.
So if it's not for you, then it's not necessarily going to be fun.
And you're also you're not gonna have that feeling of fulfillment if you're doing things for everybody else. Art should be from your heart, not for other people's entertainment or for their enjoyment. It should be for your heart. It should be something that it's like a positive outlet for you or a fun experience for you. I find that and this is we could talk about this too, bleed a little bit later, but you start getting more into the business aspect of music and it starts to get a little trickier,
Yeah, we did touch on that a little. And that's the thing. It's the balance between where you're at in life as far as how to sustain yourself as a musician if this is what you're spending all your time doing. And with that comes some sacrifices, and that musically that looks like you working on commissions or mixing vocals for a guy that you're not necessarily stoked about, or it's not the type of music you listen to, but it's something you got to do to sustain yourself. And that it's kind of like budgeting your time. You got to make sure you mix in some enjoyment.
Absolutely.
Like what I do personally is I try to make little mixes of songs I like and do little DJ scratches or just chop and screw them, because I personally get enjoyment out of that, and that's the fuel that keeps me going to work on those more boring or not as fun commissions that you have to do to sustain yourself.
No doubt. And also, just so I'm clear too, it's definitely okay to do things that you don't necessarily want to do, and there's many reasons for that. One could be you might end up liking it a lot more than you thought you would, or you could develop a relationship with somebody that you never thought you would from working with them, or whatever. I'm a big believer in when you're coming up and you're grinding and stuff. I think that it's important to take as many jobs as you can. If somebody wanted to hire me to edit a video or create an animation or commission art or a cover or a beat or whatever, I'm pretty much down for whatever I can do, And
I think there's a silver lining to whatever type of work you end up with as a producer, whatever it is, as far as working on a movie or making a beat for someone or mixing someone's vocals, or for example, I've worked on random ass shit where I'm just leveling vocals in an interview for something, you know what I mean? And it's really boring to level vocals for an interview, especially when they're talking about RVs was the shit I was doing.
Wow, that's funny though.
And, it was a RV commercial in New England, and they blew out the mic on the guys. The sound guy just totally fucked it up, and they were like, "Yo." The guy who did the drone footage was like, "Yo, you kind of know what you're doing. Can you fix this?" And I was like,
"I'll save you." You're like, "Fine, I'll save you."
But you learn. It's a learning thing.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm gonna get through these last few rules because this is brand new changes, guys. If you're just tuning in, these are brand new changes to the Spooky Sunday. Okay, these new rules are for music submission. Okay. We talked about the first few already. The rule number 3 is you can only submit one song a week. And this is kind of the idea is put your best foot forward and, do something that you care about, something that you love, and send it our way, okay? So we take SoundCloud and Spotify. That could change too. We're always open for suggestions. So if you guys have any ideas on to make the stream better, please contact me, hit me up in Spookyland or DM me or whatever. Okay, guys? I'm definitely trying to improve the stream every single week. That's a huge goal of mine. But Before we go any further, I want to say what's up to some people in the YouTube chat. You guys are amazing, by the way. Everybody that's here, I hope you're having an amazing Spooky Sunday. I'm eternally grateful for every single person that pulls up, that shows support for what we're doing. It's something that I really put my heart into. It's something that I'm really trying to be very, very prolific at. We've done 17 episodes in the last 18 weeks. And past that, we've hosted album listening parties, and we've done other fun stuff too. So if you're here, especially if you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the vibes, we have a lot of things planned. We have a Young Van listening party planned for the 9th, I believe. So we do all kinds of fun stuff around here. And everybody in the chat, Brutal and Michael, Kaz is in the chat. Our homie Splash Gang is in the chat today, dude. We were just talking about you before.
Yeah, shout out Splash Gang. Splash Gang's a talented guy.
Shout out Splash Gang, bro.
Have your money right when you're coming to Splash Gang.
Dude, that's my brother. He's an inspiration to me. He works harder on his grind than most people, and it really shows, man. If you guys haven't already, go find Splash Gang on YouTube as well, because it's insane. Yep. My cousin Alex is in the chat. What's going on, bro? When we post a new art from community, same weekly restriction, of course. Yeah. So these are just the new rules, and if you guys want to be able to submit a song into the Spooky Sunday channel for us to play on stream, then you just have to hit this roll right here. I just wanted to show this to you guys. I know it's a little boring, but I just wanted to show you guys. Hit this roll right here, and then you will be able to open up this channel right here, and then you could post a link to your SoundCloud. YouTube is fine as well, or Spotify. Okay, so
and you could join the call.
And also, if you guys want to join the voice channel, you are more than welcome. Shout out to everybody in the voice channel. You guys are the best. Anonymous, I don't think I've seen you around here before. Welcome. Bleached, you and I had the opportunity to chat for a little while after the Swain party, and that was really fun, man. I appreciate you for hanging out. Kay the Creator, I don't recognize your name, but welcome to Spookyland, my friend. I hope you're having a great night. Lil Easy, welcome to Spookyland, guys. Sir. You guys are the best. I really appreciate you guys coming and showing Bleed some love. Bleed is somebody that I've been following for a few years on Twitter, somebody that I see grinding, somebody that be tweeting out some crazy viral stuff every once in a while, and I'm just really here for it, man. And I'm really grateful that you took time out of your week to be here and to work with me up till this week to make this show a success. So thank you again, Bleed, for hanging out, man.
Hey, likewise, my guy. Thank you.
Sorry, that was just so much, man. I told you I was good at talking, though, huh?
No, you really rattled off so much information. Like that was all clean too.
Didn't sound too boring.
That was all clean. No, dude, that was riveting.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and Splash, if you want to join the voice channel, you are more than welcome, bro. If you want to come in here and say what's up. And if anybody wants to turn on their camera, like Devin, he's always the handsome one in the chat, you know, flaunting his beautiful hair. I hope your knee's doing okay, bro.
Shout out Devin, yo.
Always.
Yes.
Shout out handsome Devin.
You guys are more than welcome to turn on your cameras and say what's up to Bleed if you would like to. What's up, Rot? Happy Spooky Sunday. Appreciate you for being here. Thank you. Thank you for chilling in the land.
Shout out Rod, yo. Shout out Rod. Rod's fucking killing it. He's on the trip.
Bro dipped out.
Oh, he'll be back. Leave. He can't resist.
He came back. He came back.
So after we finished up all the new rules for the Spooky Sunday submissions, now we are going to go on and play the songs that were submitted. Okay, guys? We got a few submissions here on the screen. These are the SoundCloud ones. We have two Spotify ones. One of them is Swain, Devin. So you should be hyped about that one. And then we have 2 YouTube submissions too. So not a ton to go through. But we're going to go ahead and press play. And as you guys know, we're just playing the music. I'm not here to review it. I'm not here to tell you what you could do to make it better. I'm just here to play it. And I really want to just do that to support you guys for being part of the spooky community, for being here on Spooky Sunday, and for hanging out with me and Bleed. So Phantoms, Avoid, L, Wasted Times Way. I appreciate you all for sending your music in for us to play. Bleed. I've been looking forward to this, man. I've been looking forward to having you on. So I just I feel like it's so fun connecting with people on Twitter that you kind of just talk to every once in a while, or that you're a little aware of, and then you can kind of like they'll bring their community in, and you can just kind of like get a better sense of who they are, and also just kind of get to know them and their friends and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like a cool network.
It's such a vibe, kind of seeing or just like having a look into what your community is like. Because I've just kind of been on the surface level, you know. I just recognize like I like this guy's taste in merch. I like your T-shirts and your logo designs, but yes, sir, local Ghost Club, copy some of that merch.
Yeah, you guys, this is a huge part of my vision, Bleed. I mean, we're not going to talk too much about me, but like I said earlier, if I can, the best way for me to make money is merch, you guys. Like, I don't want to put ads on my videos. I don't want to have anything annoying. I think that merch is the best way to support an artist, especially if you're like going to see them on tour or if they do a merch drop online. You should definitely always try to cop merch from your favorite artists or anybody that you support. It's so huge because
you can always use an extra hoodie too. You can always use an extra hoodie.
Yeah, everybody could use an extra hoodie, and plus 9 times out of 10 that's not something that you can get anywhere else. You know, 99% of the time it's not something that's just going to be like available anywhere else at any other time. Usually, typically, it's something rare. It's like a limited drop, you know, whether it's even a small artist like Oliver Francis or whoever, you know what I'm saying, Bleed? It's like a lot of times, like that's an opportunity to get something underground, something rare, something cool, something limited. And
it's more than just the shirt. It's more than just the article of clothing. You know that you're helping push that person further, even financially and just motivation wise. Like, oh, like this person copped my shirt, like they like what I'm doing. That means a lot to the creator, you know.
One of my favorite things in the Bleed, one of my favorite things in the world is when somebody cops something for me and I pack it up. Like, I am so happy packing up an order of merch for somebody because I put so much love and heart into that aspect of the merch. You guys, today's stream is sponsored by Spooky Gang. Go to spooky.land later after the show to shop, but everything is hand drawn by me. It is printed here in Minneapolis. It is ready to go for me to ship out at any moment. Like, if somebody orders something from me, I am literally capable of getting it out to them within days. If they live in the US and somebody orders from me, I can get it out to them within like 3 or 4 days. And
he does all the little custom packaging too.
Yeah,
that's what I like about it. It's really personable. That's how you know he cares,
bro. Bleed. That's why I care about you, man. Because I was like I said last week, our one of the improvements that we made to the stream last week was having the animation of my special guest's name. The week before that, I was like, I'm just gonna put on Spooky Sunday, you know, so people know what they're watching. And then after that, I was like, whoa, I can't stop there. You know, like I have to have like more. There has to be a little bit more here. So I added with, and now I have like with whoever is the special guest.
He hooked me up with this little animated logo thing he did. And I could throw that on so many different things. That's just like a nice little bonus. Like, I'd have to go pay $300 to get a guy to go do that.
Oh, man, if somebody's charging you $300 for that, then I need to start charging $300 for that because I could make a killing.
I mean, you very well could.
But like I said, though, like giving back to the community is a huge part of Spooky Sunday. You know, that's why we're playing community music right now. That's why I try to spotlight a new special guest every week. And yeah, man, I'm just really hyped. Usually the first half hour or so, we're just chilling, listening to community music, all the submitted stuff. And then after that, we can go into like a little bit more about Bleed. We can learn a little. I mean, we could chat and stuff, but like we're gonna listen to like your music. We can usually we watch videos. If you're a videographer, we'll watch like the videos that you shot, or just whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that would have been cool. But see, when I was in high school, I used to be super into photography and videography stuff. I would have put together a little something. But yeah, if you could find, like, it's buried kind of in my link tree somewhere in my bio. I have a whole photography portfolio.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, I was really into it, man.
Did you shoot with like one specific camera or just like anything?
Yeah.
Or
well, I cycled through a few of them. My first camera was a Canon T5, which is kind of just like your entry level, $200 DSLR camera.
Yeah.
It's more about like if you throw a nice lens on it, you could take some dope ass pictures. Like a 50mm lens on a T5, you could take some cool ass pictures. Then I graduated to the Canon 6D. There's a full frame camera. I don't know if you nerd out about cameras at all.
Well, let me tell you something right now. If you're watching the stream, I'm pointing at a Canon 6D right now.
Yeah. So I love the 6D. I love the colors in the 6D. I love just a nice camera, just ergonomically too. The way it feels, the weight of it, and everything. It's durable. But yeah, I was super into that, bro. Like me and my friend, we would do real estate stuff. He had a DJI Phantom, you know, the drones, where you get the nice over-the-shot house.
Those are sick though.
Yeah, they're cool. It was fun to do for a little while. I was really into it. I would do people's cars a lot of the time because I was really into the car scene, like stance cars, stuff like that. And we'd go to car shows, find people to take pictures of their cars.
Hell yeah. By the way, shout out King for joining the chat. Jordy Hendricks, who's a big time supporter, showing up almost every week. Doughboy's here. Young Jim, what's going on, my guys? Man, I appreciate everybody for pulling up and showing love. Yammy Yam is here hanging out. Pixelated says, you need to start charging $300. No doubt, man. Then I would probably not be. I wouldn't need to sell merch anymore at that point.
He could, though. He could. That's the thing.
But I want to have like something to give, you know. I love being able to give back, man. I think that's so important, man. It's so important because I think that it attracts good energy, Bleed. You know, if you do something,
that's what sets you apart. That's what sets you apart, bro. Like your intent is there. The positive intent is there because you could easily like grab $300 off of some of the stuff that you do, you know.
Even my cover arts where I spend, dude, I don't want to tell you how many hours I've like spent redrawing certain cover arts, and then I'm just so nice. Right. I'm like, I can't charge you more than $200 for this, even though I spent 28 hours on it. You know, I'm like, I just can't. Like,
well, you know what's great sometimes is your buyer will sauce in like a little $5, $10 tip.
No, they have to for sure.
I love that. You know, it's just the fact that you recognize that I priced this below what it was worth, and you just threw in a little on top of that. That says a lot, you know.
It's because I'm not necessarily doing everything for the money. You know, it's like that's not the main goal. That's just a side thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nice to get paid for your art, but I think that truly the journey that we're on here, Bleed, with like my vision. I think that, like I was saying earlier, chat, merch is the best way to support somebody. You get something that you can have for a long time. Like I have a Mod Sun hoodie that I've had for over 10 years. Like I've had it for so long. I still have it. Like there's merch in my closet that I've had for a decade long. And it's like that $50 or $60 or $70 for that rare dope hoodie that nobody else has, or even $20 or $25 for a t-shirt or whatever. That's something.
Or the socks.
Yeah, it's something that you're going to have for a long time, possibly for the rest of your life even, you know? And I think that I want to give people the best value that I possibly can, you know? I don't charge like $200 a hoodie. Everything that I have is very reasonably priced. And that's my main goal, is to make money off of my merch because it's the fairest trade in my opinion. I mean, of course I do cover arts and video edits and stuff like that. But when people rock your merch, Bleed, they're out there supporting you as they're wearing it. They're out there promoting you every time they wear it.
Bro, every time someone asks them, like, oh, I fuck with that shirt, like, what's the story behind that? There's a whole background attached to it, you know? There's you attached to it and their experiences with you. And it's different versus just going to wherever and getting a t-shirt you like, you know? And you also know that you're supporting someone that's got the right interests, you know.
No doubt, man. Also, I'm sorry guys, I wasn't sharing my screen in the voice channel, but now I am, so you guys can hear what I'm hearing. I apologize for that.
Yeah, I was gonna butt in for a second. I don't know if I had the music stream muted, but I can't hear music.
I'm sorry, dude. Yeah.
Might just be on YouTube. I might be tripping. Hold on.
No. It should be good now. You should be able to hear it in the voice channel and everything. The last song was a little quiet, I think, and I had it turned down a bit, so my bad, you guys. But it should be all good now. Right, Devin? Everything seemed fine? Michael?
You have a bot in the music channel for the music?
No, I play it on SoundCloud and then I stream it to OBS.
It's gonna be on the stream. Hold on, I'm opening it.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah, it's playing. It's
playing. Sweet. Oh, maybe I should just listen to you through your stream, man.
If you pull up the voice channel too, you should be able to hear the music as well, and it should work perfect. Because then you won't have any.
Live.
This song is another community song submitted by Waste of Time. It's called Memories, featuring Sorrowbringer. Sorrowbringer was actually a guest on the show already, dude. He's a really cool producer. He comes all the way from Ukraine, Bleed. I had, dude, we actually had to like change the time of the stream so that it wasn't like the craziest. It was like 4 in the morning or something if we would have done it normally, but we started it a few hours early, so it was like 2 a.m. for him.
Oh yeah, he's on totally different time zone.
But like I said,
It's
man,
funny.
go ahead.
I was just going through my. They have like a little insight breakdown in your SoundCloud by location, like they have it on Spotify and everything too. And my next best country was, or my two next best countries were Russia and Ukraine back to back.
Interesting.
And I was wondering, I was just like, who's out there just bumping?
Somebody's bumping some bleed in Ukraine, bro. It could be Sorrowbringer even.
I fuck with that. I think about that sometimes, like whatever country, like Brazil was in the top 5 too. I'm like, who in Brazil is just knocking my shit?
It's funny because sometimes you never know, you know, like a couple good examples I can think of artists that are thriving in other countries are number one, Convolk. Convolk does really well in Russia because I believe he does have a background, a Russian background or something. I believe, I could be wrong, but he has a huge following in Russia. I'm pretty certain he speaks it, at least at the minimum.
I have the theory because Russia I'm not really like too familiar with it, but I know they have a crazy metal scene. I know they have a crazy metalcore scene. You see Anon, that's Bob in here with the moon profile picture. He could tell you more about Russia's scene, but they're raw as fuck over there. They do not play. And you can hear it in the music.
Yeah, dude. And you know what's kind of funny, Bleed, is, you know, we're American, obviously. And even online, we're like more familiar with like American scene and a culture, you know, rather than like the Russian scene and the Russian culture. And I wonder if it's because of like the language barrier online or something, where everybody's, you know, like not everybody in Russia speaks English, obviously, so it's not like you're gonna see or read like anything that they post. Like on Twitter, there's like different circles, so you know, there's like different countries that speak completely different languages with completely different like communities, if that makes sense.
I would attest to this. I mean, like, just in Raw Pack alone, there's a ton of different European people, especially Germany, Scotland. Those people, most Europeans also speak English, so there's a lot of overlap between Americans and Europeans with music, because you can have that communication. Communication's huge if you're gonna be collaborating with someone. But I have this dope ass song with this Korean dude. I don't know a single lyric of what it means, but it sounds hard. But he doesn't speak English, and I can't communicate with him effectively to like make some more. You know what I mean? That's always been a barrier, and I'm sure it's similar with Russians. You know, especially in hyperpop, bro. Russian hyperpop, that scene is crazy, or at least it was. I'm sure it still is. But when I was tapped into hyperpop, when it was just peaking a few years ago, I remember the Russian kids were going fucking crazy. I like their sound.
Yeah, it kind of peaked in like what, 2020-ish, like around lockdown-ish, somewhere.
Well, I'm thinking about it for me, like, yeah, I would say I was in college on campus during that time, so it's probably my sophomore year when I was introduced into hyperpop, and OS Quinn was my favorite. OS Quinn to me was the most solid out of everyone, so that was kind of like...
She is very different, that's for sure, like in a good way, like...
She's cool too, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of hyperpop kids, like she's young, you know, like way younger than me.
Yeah, like 17, 18 or something.
Yeah, and back then I was just shocked by how old she was, and I was just like, what the fuck?
I'm blessed to have her follow, bro, on Twitter. I'm blessed to have that.
I know, right?
I need to reach out and see if they might be interested in perhaps doing a Spooky Sunday, because her music is so crazy. It's like she doesn't give a fuck about like what people are trying to hear. Remember we were talking a little earlier about, you know, like making music for other people or making it for yourself?
Yeah.
There's certain people in the scene like Quinn and Shinigami stands out to me in this way quite a bit, where they're like, you know what, we're gonna make music that we want to make. We're not gonna make music to please you guys, to make you happy, to sell records, to get views. And that's totally my vibe, Bleed, because that's what I'm doing here with Spooky Sunday. I'm not doing this for clout. I'm not trying to like get the biggest possible guests I can. It's always funny because I'll see like a podcast start or something, and they're like, oh, I can't get any guests, and it's like, dude, you're trying to get like freaking Snoop Dogg on your show. It's like, come on, you gotta like dial it back a little bit and find your own way, you know? You can't just like reach out to people that are established just to like build an audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think behind the scenes, you need to develop your own relationships before you could even embark on the type of shit that you're doing, you know? Because like I told you before, like I had platforms reach out to me that wanted to do some interview, but there's a certain thing where it's like there's not really going to be an audience overlap to where I could talk to people that I couldn't already put my message out to, where with you're like a big figurehead in the community and you have this big audience that speaks for a lot of the underground, you know? So it makes sense for me to do that on your shit, you know?
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I feel like we're getting the exclusive chat with our guy Bleed tonight, our special guest of the night. By the way, yeah, let's go, baby. We got King in the chat. He said Convolk's dad was Russian, I think. I think you might be right, too. I think he has, like, Russian heritage. I could be wrong, but I believe that to be true. Donald's in the chat. What's going on, brother? I appreciate you for pulling up and being here, man. I hope you're having a great spooky Sunday. Tonight's special guest is Bleed, you guys. We're listening to some community music for now, just chilling as we always do. This song is Zway. He's a moderator in the chat, dude. He's a big help around Spooky Land. So shout out Zway, man.
Shout out Zway.
Appreciate you,
we got a song. We got a song in the works, me and Zway.
I have a song in the works with him too.
Hell yeah! I heard he screams, so
he can do a little bit of everything. Oh, Young Kel,
blood curdling scream. I'm with
Young Kel in the chat, by the way. What's up, Young Kel? Another special guest, dude. Couple changes that we made to Spooky Sunday this week, you guys. We went over it earlier. We have new rules in the entry and submissions channel right here in order to submit music, so that's new. But also we're going to do like a special role for our special guests, you know. Tell me if this is cool, Devin. All right. So anybody that's been a special guest on the show, we give them like a badge, like a special role in the Discord, like, yo, I've been a special guest, and just a little something to be like, you know, an extra way to promote them, a little extra way to show them love, even more than we already do.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
So,
is it gonna set them apart from each other? Like,
it's just aesthetic. It's just like a little badge. Yeah, nothing. Yeah. It won't do anything extra. It'll just be completely aesthetic. So I think that it would just be kind of a cool way to like show a little extra love than we do. You know, and just be like, hey, thank you again for being a special guest. You're in the family, kind of thing. You know.
Yeah, of course. Right. I like that.
So Devin, you should be hyped because we got a Swain song coming up next, bro. You already know that's our guy. We got 2 Spotify songs that we're going to play and then 2 YouTube songs. So we're going to go ahead and get to that right now. This one is called Your Boyfriend by Swain and Eric Godlow. They are an insane duo. Bleed, are you aware of Swain and Eric Godlow by chance?
I already had Swain's name.
Swain was the first ever guest on Spooky Sunday.
That might have been you mentioning him earlier, actually. So.
Yep, and we've also had album listening parties for him. He's a super talented writer, rapper. He helps produce his music as well, and he went to high school with Sewer Person.
No way. Okay, he's cool, man.
Yeah, so he's cool as hell, man. He's just he's a really down to earth. He's Canadian. He's a great vibe, you know. And just gonna give him a little shout out. So.
I need more Canadian friends. So.
Yeah, what's it like? What's it like growing up where you are? I mean, what was your experience like growing up? Was it on the East Coast or did you say Texas? Did I mishear you earlier?
No, I'm not from Texas.
Oh, okay.
I'm like deep in the top right corner where Maine is.
Oh wow.
That's where. Because I tell people where I'm from sometimes, and they're like, I say New Hampshire, and they're like, oh, which state is that in? I'm like, dude, New Hampshire is a state.
That's why I wrote the sticks, you know, because
it is the sticks. And it's funny you said that because when I first typed out where I was from, I was like, I just said like the sticks, and I deleted it and just reworded it as the middle of nowhere.
And then I wrote that.
Yeah, and then you wrote that, and I was like, well, you nailed it regardless. Because I almost said Boston area. I even asked some people, I was like, do I say Boston area? Because people just know Boston. Because I'm like 45 minutes away from Boston.
Oh, wow. We have some homies in the Discord from that area for sure. Young Jim and Doughboy are both in that area as well.
There's a ton of people in Massachusetts, honestly, that are part of the scene. Shout out all the Massachusetts people.
How familiar are you with the scene, like locally? Because I feel like it's easy to be more aware of like online presence of musicians, but be completely oblivious to like what's happening here.
Local scene up here is not necessarily rap focused. It's more hardcore bands. Like, if you can think about metal, if you don't know what hardcore is, as far as metal goes, it's kind of just like metalcore, but like more hardcore. I don't know how to describe it exactly. But you'll see a lot of like little startup bands from high schoolers. A lot of the time, they're actually sick as fuck. And the shows are dope. They're just little basement venues, especially in Boston. They'll just be like
those,
little.
Man. Those are like my favorite.
They're crazy. Those are my favorite. I try to go to as many of those as I can. Shout out Russ Lung from New Hampshire. That was the screamo band when I was a freshman in high school. They were going crazy. But yeah, that's mainly the scene, is just hardcore bands, stuff like that. And it's still like that, despite how you don't really see a lot of it nowadays. But as far as rap goes, there's one guy from 808 Mafia that came out of New Hampshire.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you know Nedarb or Nedarb.
Yeah. I saw him. I saw him DJing at a Lil Tracy concert this last year.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that guy's awesome. He's like a classic New Hampshire dude. Adam 22 is from Nashville, New Hampshire.
Is he?
Random as hell. Adam Sandler's from New Hampshire. It's tucked away for real.
It just breeds talent, though.
I think it's the fact that it's so close to Boston, because a lot of Boston's kind of like northern New England's New York City, if that makes sense.
So did you?
But there isn't necessarily a scene with rap, really.
Interesting. Would you say that like you grew up in? Were you always living in like quote unquote the sticks, or did you live in the city, or?
So, up until I moved in 4th grade, but my childhood, from just being born to 4th grade, was the sticks for sure. Like my elementary school, like my whole school was like 150 people. It was a tiny ass town.
Wow, that is small.
Deep in the woods, yeah. And like I don't really come from a lot of money or anything really. Just deep in the like kind of white trash area, to be honest. So when I got to around 4th grade, my mom was really trying to get us out of there. So we found a house in a nicer area just for the school for the time being. So like I grew up throughout high school, at least, more like preppier kids that they wouldn't consider themselves from the sticks just because they grew up in the suburban areas in New Hampshire. But there's a interesting dichotomy going on. Like say a kid that grows up in like some trailer trash and moves to a suburban town.
We could write a story about it, dude. Make it a concept album for you or something, bro.
Well, there's a lot of things. I know a lot of musicians can relate to small town judgment. And when you come from a small town and you try to do any type of creative endeavor, music, or something that you could easily get clowned for, you really kind of, you're at odds with it versus someone who's in the city or who's in LA and has a lot of options. It's not that weird if you want to be a musician or if you want to be a photographer or something like that. And that was a big battle for me because I didn't tell any of my friend group that I was a producer. They found out 3 years later when my shit was popping off a little bit more because I didn't feel comfortable, you know? Like in a small town, you get lambasted for being you trying to make beats, bro? What are you? Especially as a white kid.
That's another rule that we have to abide by, man. Is ignore the naysayers. You know, all those people in life. A lot of times they're just like, you know, they don't even know that they're hating. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know they are.
No, they don't. Well, I can tell you, I'll never forget this. The first time I ever showed my best friend a beat I made once. And it was like my friend group, we were all playing basketball at the courts. And like we're hopping in the cars, getting ready to leave, carpooling back home. And I was going back home with my best friend at the time. And I plugged in my phone for the aux cord and I threw on a beat I had tried making. And it was like one of the first 10 beats I'd ever made.
Oh, wow.
And I was like I was really excited to show someone else, you know, because I didn't know how to bring it up. And I played the shit in the car, and I was like, yo, I made this beat. And he looked at me, it gave me the worst just grimace on his face, like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. And I'm just like, nah, play it, dog. It's not my beat. He knew, like, it was my beat, but it's hard to hear your close friend just be like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You're trying to be a producer?
I think that's what it really is, though. You just kind of touched on it. It's not the fact that you made the beat or that it's bad even. It was more like, oh, why are you doing that almost? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
No, it does, because it is a thing where it's like, dude, where is your head at?
Like, shouldn't you go get a job at Walmart and become a manager? And
trying to go to school right now. Like, we're trying to work in a firm somewhere. You know, like my whole goal in life is to avoid working a conventional job, just because I've interned jobs and I've seen what it's like. I've heard people's stories. I've heard my friends' experiences since graduating college of how shit's gone. I don't want to be in that position. I would much rather be doing something I like and sustaining myself off of it, you know.
Absolutely, bro. I'm in the same exact mindset. And I want to say what's up to Lee V inside the YouTube chat. Appreciate you for coming through and saying what's up. Young Cal is in here, East Coast. What's up, bro? You were Young Cal's originally from the East Coast. He's currently in Colorado, in Denver. I've had he was actually the headliner for my for Spooky Fest. He helped me book a venue that was willing to let us perform a free show, you know. That's one of the biggest barriers when it comes to Spooky Fest for me. It's a show, you know, about everything that we do here, you know, good vibes, you know, dope artists. But I really like the idea of a show being free if possible, because ticket sales are always a bummer. I don't know if you have any experience, Bleed, but selling tickets, like you just said with your friend, like people are like, you're trying to like be a rapper, or you're trying to be a producer, or you're trying to be a singer, and they're just like, really, bro? Instead of like being like, yo, I'd love to come support you.
I've had experience where people have totally flopped trying to promote a show. Back in my photographer days, I had a friend that I met my senior year at high school, and his older brother was trying to throw a show at this venue, and I showed up with my camera and everything, like ready to shoot all the artists, shoot the event for them, and just like all of these artists are lined up, probably like 12 or 13 different artists with their own sets prepared, these crazy fits going and everything, and it's like kind of built into this bar, and no one showed up. No one was there, and I was just there with my camera, like, what do you want me to do? He was like, could you at least get like a pic of like me with the artist? So I was like, yeah. I took a couple of courtesy pics for him, and I was like, well, I'd never want to be that guy to just waste a shit ton of people's time. But I don't blame him either, because you could really never know your first time trying to throw a show if your ticket sales are converting to people showing up. You don't really know.
And the beautiful thing about what I did with Spooky Fest and Young Cal was a lot of the people that performed, it was their very first show ever that they ever performed. And it was the idea was like, you know, I want to help people, you know, like I want to give people a shot. I want people to feel like they matter, you know, and that's why we're playing community music right now. That's why I try to have a special guest on every single week. And everything matters, you know, like it's crazy that people are slept on. Even the greatest artists of all time. I forget who said it, but was it J. Cole or somebody that said like the best rapper in the world is probably like packing up groceries or produce or something at a grocery store right now. You know, they're not in the industry like known. You know what I'm saying? There's so much.
Yeah, I go into a lot of. Well, we were talking about it earlier about how most producers or particularly producers are just like regular dudes. You know,
no doubt, man. Everybody is at the end of the day, everybody's a regular person, you know. Everybody has anxieties and depression every once in a while, or sadness or whatever, you know. And it's like
I think, bro, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think especially musicians, it's not really touched on enough, mental health and stuff like that, because if you consider producers and what the mainstream grind is as a producer, it's to be locked up in your own room grinding out beats all day trying to land a placement. And if you spend a lot of time doing that, some people will spend years doing that. If you don't land your major placement, because at the end of the day, it's just a lottery system. It's luck a lot of the time. If you don't have in-house connections, you're not going to feel too good. Having spent 2 years trying to fulfill this dream that you had, and then you'll arrive there and think like, oh, like that's kind of not really how the game works. Like you can't just kind of play the lottery with your beats all day. Like
it definitely is a little bit of a lottery too. You know, I've used that as a good example too. You know, just because it's like, I think I was talking to Swain about that, Devin, at the listening party. We were saying like every song you make is like an investment in yourself.
Yeah, for real.
It's like you don't know which ones will be received like in a really positive way, you know, and get a lot of numbers or attention or anything. You never know. A lot of times that song that you have kept on your computer, that one that's just sitting on your hard drive, a lot of times that could be the song that people really like, and it's just like you overthinking it.
Yeah. I like that conversation a lot because I know a lot of people who have just wiped their SoundClouds or wiped their image and restarted because they're perfectionists. You know, it's a perfectionist mentality to delete your old beats that you personally don't like that could have very well been sold. You know, I've run into situations before where I've had someone DM me like, where did this beat go? I'm trying to buy this lease or whatever it may be, and I'm like, what? Like,
why I thought I was doing y'all a favor. But now you're being that friend that you were telling about that you were showing your beat. You know, now you're being him in a way where you're like, oh, you know, like it's not that good or whatever. There's like doubt there, you know. We all, I feel like as artists, we all self-doubt, you know, we all doubt ourselves on one level or another. It's easy to, especially in a world where we're online and we're looking at everybody else, we're seeing everybody else's quote unquote success or whatever. And it's easy to get kind of like sucked into that way of thinking of, oh, well, I'm comparing myself to this person, I'm comparing myself to that person. And yeah, like you're comparing yourself to your idols, you're comparing yourself to people that you look up to, and you're trying to be like them. And that's a really good thing. That's great. You know, it's good to be influenced, but you have to understand that the journey is the real reward. The fact that you're out here trying, the fact that you're out here like making music, that you're following this dream, even if you're not like at the place you want to be quite yet, the fact that you're doing it is the most important thing.
I wish I knew how warped my perspective was of my producer idols when I was like 17 years old. Like when I've talked to certain people, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all, but when I was in my SoundCloud phase, like shit I would listen to before football games, like I hear the Captain Crunch on the beat tag, like Captain Crunch is a fucking icon.
He's
to
a
me,
legend.
You know? And like I've had a conversation with him, and I talked to him, and it's just like, this guy's just like me, bro. You know, it's just like a guy who loves music and is making beats and just trying to make a living off of it. But in your mind, before you've been a producer yourself, you're like, you think of them as like a superstar, you know? Even if they're not like an A-list celebrity, but to you, they mean a lot, and it kind of warps your perspective on what you're trying to achieve. Like you want to put yourself in their shoes somehow, but once you get in their shoes, you realize like it's not what you thought it was, you know. And like it's a weird thing to think about it. And I would tell, that would be my message to a lot of younger producers, is just don't like over inflate your idea of how lit a lot of these so like successful people are, you know, because
the quote unquote successful.
And I'm kind of just like tiptoeing around it because I don't want to sound insulting, but it's just the reality of the situation. Like you look up what people get off streaming checks, it's not a lot of money. You're not gonna pay your rent off streaming money.
And that's kind of the time. No doubt, bro. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like supporting somebody's merch is the best way to support them. And with Spooky Sundays, Spooky Fest, I would love to be able to like help people get set up. Like, you know, like if you're gonna be a performer at a Spooky Fest, I want to help. I would literally spend the time to help you make sure that, you know, you're getting merch printed up and that you have something to bring, because that's such an important aspect to me. Because like you said, you're not getting paid for streaming service. You're not selling out like any sort of like giant stadium.
Like you said, bro, people who look at you, or maybe not you, someone who makes music, you would think, or even a producer, you would think that they're making a lot of money if they have a solid catalog of songs that are getting a lot of streams. Don't get me wrong, like you get a nice check every month, but it's nowhere near what you could sustain yourself off of if that's your only stream of income. And that's why it is important to find other avenues as the creator to set up merch like you did, or even as the consumer to support people through ways other than just listening to their music, like maybe buy a piece of merch. Something like that.
I don't want to say that you have to have merch. It is a passion of mine. I remember being in like 6th or 7th grade and designing clothes and being like, I want to have a clothing line. You know, being a kid and being like, I want to have a clothing line someday. You know, just because I thought it was a cool idea, and that was that. It was just that simple. To me, it was just a cool idea to have that. You know, so
I had a certain aspiration to do a clothing line. I had a manager for a couple of years. And he wanted to do some type of clothing line thing. He bought my logo. Like, you see my Bleed logo before? That's kind of like that metal band type of font. He got that commission from me, and there's like a little piece below it for a full band tee type design. And we really wanted to go all out with the shirt and get all flat red box, flat red tissue paper. There's a little Bleed logo wax stamped envelope that came with a little letter that had a code to a secret sample kit thing, and then beneath that you have your t-shirt, which I wanted acid washed. I wanted the sleeves frayed. I wanted the logo or the whole design printed from collar to hem. And there's these certain things that if I was gonna drop merch, it needed to be worth your while for someone to buy it. And we hit a crossroads with our printers. We couldn't get a printer to have the logo from collar to hem. And I still, to this day,
it is difficult. About this. Yeah, it's difficult to find the right printers to do the right things. Even with my own printer, who's a friend of mine, he owns his own shop here in Minneapolis. I've been using him in his business for 10 years plus. He literally, I remember he just started off with just him and his wife working there, and now he has like 3 to 5 employees or something like that. You know, I've had the opportunity to watch him grow, and even him, like, he's like, yeah, because I'll be like, I want this really big, like, I want it to go over the hoodie pocket and stuff, and he's like, yeah, I don't know, bro, you know, like,
exactly. They're like, yeah, it's probably not gonna work out how you think, but yeah, for me, it's like, if I'm gonna drop something that you're gonna pay money for and wear around with my name on it, and people are gonna ask you about it, what it is, it better look fucking sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm gonna do it, it better be something that people would love or that looks dope. And I wouldn't drop it.
Yeah, I do see that, and I agree with that. And also, putting that much effort into something like a merch shop like that, it's gonna make it more expensive too, and that is going to like take away people that are able to afford or be willing to spend a certain amount of money on a certain piece. You know, especially if you're talking about like certain freighted like. You know, certain things.
Well, that's the thing you have. Like, certain times, you gotta sacrifice profits for. Like, if you hook someone up with a really nice product for cheap, and you sacrifice a little bit of profit in the meantime, that might pay off in the long term.
I think what I'm saying? Like, for sure.
I really believe in that. I mean, they teach you that in school with business ethics and shit like that. If you just hook someone up in the short term, that'll pay off in the long term. You know, just little things like that you gotta eat when you're first starting out.
No, I agree 100%, man.
That's how I would have done it, but I couldn't find a printer to print this shit properly. And that's been my dilemma, and I think I just will have to pick a new logo or something like that. But I haven't really been focused on merch because I'm not a big community page like you are.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I do appreciate it. I just want people to be able to be successful, you know, and like, even though merch isn't going to make you rich by any means at all, it still helps, you know, like anything that you can do to help your brand, to help you grow. Like, if that's not for you, then find something else, you know. You know, a lot of people just do commissions or whatever it may be.
There's a lot of in the last few years especially, everyone's starting their own line of clothing. I'm sure you're the most familiar with how oversaturated streetwear has become. because you're kind of like one of the OGs in it.
I just do what I do, man. And even before Spooky Gang, I had an older merch brand, like even years ago, and I lost that in a legal battle because the person that, the person was that I had come up with the idea. I came up with the account. I did all the tweeting. I came up with the designs. I designed everything myself. Well, I did hire somebody to do a couple designs back then too. But I operated outside of this dude's house, and he was going to be an investor. He was a wealthy person that I knew at the time, and we were operating out of his house. All the merch was there, and I said, I'm going to do everything except for ship it. You guys pack it up. I'm delivering pizzas. This is my normal job. You guys, I'm going to keep promoting it. I'm going to keep coming out with designs, and you just ship it out. And it came to the fact where they wouldn't ship it out, and I was getting like DMs like, where's my merch, and I was like, what the heck's going on? And this dude, keep in mind, this dude is rich as shit. Like, he was making like more than $30,000 a month, he was very wealthy. And it came down to it in the end, after years where I went and grabbed my shit and I said, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to do everything myself, And one day I got a cease and desist letter. He went and got an attorney, and he's like, he ended up fighting for that company, and he bought it, and he ended up getting it from me and letting it die. So it does not even exist anymore. He just took it from me because he did. And that was a huge part of a learning experience for me for what I'm doing now. That's why I design everything myself. That's why I have it printed. That's why I hold it all myself. That's why I'm responsible for shipping it all myself. Because I learned the hard way, like when you're doing something, whatever it is, you are going to love it and care about it more than anybody else possibly ever could. Even if you paid them good money to, they would not care about it as much as you do. Your brand, everything that you do, your music, your art, whatever, nobody will ever care about it more than you. And you need to always be safe with that, like it's important to maintain control over what you do with your vision and your brand. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So
and I think that can be tricky sometimes. As much as it should be easy because it's just about being yourself, it can be tricky just deciding how to move or how to push certain things, for sure. And like, I think about a lot of just getting older and getting into different type of financial things. Like, I think about taxes and how to figure out which shit to write off under or setting up an LLC to write off certain things. I think that's a lot of things, that's a big thing producers kind of neglect. Nowadays you can't make more than a couple $1,000s through Cash App, PayPal, Venmo without the IRS getting on your ass. That's as of a couple years ago. Like, we all gotta pay fucking taxes on everything now. They're looking at everything.
100%.
So what you gotta do, you don't have control over that now. So you gotta learn how to set up an LLC and run your taxes through that. Get certain write-offs. You could write off your whole PC. You could write off certain studio equipment. I think that's kind of a neglected thing.
No, you're 100%, dude. I'm going to talk more a little bit about that, but I do want to say what's up to Turbo Bands in the chat. Welcome to Spooky Sunday, dude. I thank you for popping in and saying what's good, man. I hope you stick around and chill with us for a little bit. King said earlier, comparisons hold me back so much, whether it's about YouTube stuff or attempting to get into music. Yeah, and we did touch on that. It's like such a difficult thing to overcome, but like a goal should always be to just worry about you. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's journey is different. You definitely just need to do whatever is in your heart. You know what I'm saying, Bleed? Like, you just got to follow whatever that, as corny as it sounds, you have to follow your heart, bro. You have to.
It's not even corny. I believe in the gut instinct. Like, if it sits a certain way in your stomach, it's likely the reality of it. I've learned that a lot by not trusting my gut and it failing me, like, you should trust your gut most of the time with people too.
I agree, man. And by the way, if you guys are just tuning in to Spooky Sunday episode number 17 with special guest Bleed, we went through some community music. I'm playing some Bleed productions right now, bro. You guys should be able to pull it up in the voice channel right now. I got the playlist that you sent me. We're just vibing to it in the background. We're all hanging out, having a good time, just talking about life, art, business. Oops, I accidentally there we go. But as far as like taxes and stuff goes, man, it's I've had I couldn't tell you how many people have messaged me and said, hey, I'd love to start some sort of like a clothing line or a streetwear brand or whatever. Like, can you give me some tips? And I start like with some stuff like, well, first you're gonna want to get an LLC or whatever comparable. You need a business to operate out of. You need a tax ID number, and then like
the problem. People think there's a problem with the way people try and learn about how to approach it, because you can kind of hear from whoever, like whatever type of guy, like, oh yeah, you need your LLC, get an LLC, write all your taxes through it. It's like, okay, but like, how the fuck do I do that? Like, you need to actually get someone to help you with it. That's the best way to do it, because that's what I did. Like, I wasn't about to go learn all this shit myself. It's way too confusing. It's intentionally confusing, They don't want you to know how much shit you can write it off.
It almost
you can write off flights. You can write off like, if you went to LA on a business trip, you could write off the flight ticket. People, they don't tell you.
You know what's even better, though, is during 2020, 2021, I believe both years tax-wise, you could write off a lot of your meals because there was certain changes made because restaurants specifically were really struggling during COVID and lockdown, where they were providing a tax break incentives of people going out and spending money at restaurants. So there was a lot. I don't think they're doing it as much anymore, but the last year or two, there was like huge benefits to going to a restaurant and being able to be able to write off your food.
He said I wrote off lunch with my mom because she was asking about my music.
Splash is a legend, dude, and he's a really great. Splash is such a great-minded business person as well. He is like very, very official, just like me. He has contracts.
I wanted to get in. Me and him, we've like talked one time. We kind of got into it. I wanted to get into like an engineering type of conversation about it, because I'm so curious to hear how other producers are in their bag. Because selling beats is not going to pay your rent at the end of the day, and I just wonder like what you're doing to sustain yourself. Because there's a lot of sauce that's worth sharing. You're not going to lose business over that. I mean, nowadays with AI and mixing, that's a whole different conversation. Like, we might all go out of business, but
I'm not too worried about AI yet. Like, I think that it's got a long way to go. It's still got a long way to go. I mean, I get the visual aspect of like, oh, you could take this picture, and it'll make you something new. But I think that there's also like a really big community of people that really just support like real artists, real people, and they're like, even like the awareness. There's an awareness of like, yo, I don't just like a lot of people. Even a recent commission of mine, somebody sent me an AI art that they made, and they were like, this is what I had, but I want something original by you, and this is just kind of like a general direction.
That is a real, bro. That's so real to have an AI make a reference and then send that to someone and pay them to make. That is real as fuck.
And I think that is just really. It's like, yeah, me too, man. It's like they understand that there's something special about an artist putting a pencil or a pen or whatever it is to a piece of paper.
Always will. There's never not going to be a novelty to a human created thing versus a robot. There's never not going to be a novelty to that. That's why people shouldn't be as afraid of it as
I'm not because I'm faithful, man. I believe, I believe that people will be able to be like, yo, like AI art has its own lane, It does. I don't think that we need to be. I think with technology, there's always like a dichotomy. Like, I'm going to use the word you said earlier. There's always like a good side to the technology, something that's really easy, convenient, helpful, and then there's like another side of it that's either sucking your life away, or you're spending too much time, or it's.
It depends how you look at it. Because I think about AI a lot of the time is like the advent of AI specifically with digital art is really interesting to me, because digital artists fucking hate it. Like, you'll see it on Twitter, like someone that likes AI art will get ratioed about like 1 million fucking likes easily. Just like, you'll see the strength and the passion of that community and people that feel that way about it. But I don't look at it as any different as an evolution of a type of tool that artists use. Because if you look at artists that grew up in the 90s that are just painting or doing everything by hand, they probably hate the new age artists that were doing
like iPads or Wacom tablets or
those kids now are complaining about AI, but they don't realize that they had the same type of tools to push them past what people in the 90s didn't have as far as technology went. Like, so I really look at it as an evolution of just us getting better and better tools to create cooler and cooler shit. And a lot of people are just so like against AI, but I think if you're a great artist, you're likely not concerned about AI because you probably see it as a tool to make something even doper, because you know with your own creativity and your outlook and perspective on things, like you're creating art that's unique to you. And an AI cannot compete with that.
No AI is mean. It doesn't matter what you take. Nothing can make exactly what I make. There's no past. It's not possible. It'll make something else, but it won't be me. You know, it'll never be me.
Never be to a real person. That's the thing that separates it. And there'll always be a market for real shit. Of course, you know, like as far as even what we've seen now, you've seen the pushback. But I think there's also another side to where I think you should let it into your life a little bit, you know, use it as a tool, see how you can progress what you're doing now with AI as a tool, you know, augment yourself.
It's so funny because I'm a millennial, and a lot of millennials are against social media. You know, there's a huge group, especially, you know, people that are outdoorsmen, people that like hunt. I like fishing and stuff, but like people that hunt and fish and work construction, like these are all things that I've done in my life, you know. I've been on job sites and stuff like that, and these are certain groups of guys that are all very like-minded, in my opinion. You know, they think very similarly, and they'll look at social media and they'll be like, that's just trash, that's a complete waste of time, there's no reason. I mean, but they don't see it. But what I'm getting at is they don't look at it like a tool, like we're talking about. Like when you're looking at something that's a tool to help you, to make something to help you, you know, like I would not sell any merch if I didn't have the internet. If I did not have Twitter or Instagram or Shopify or anything, I would never sell any merch, bro. Like
it's so funny because I'm so familiar with this because I went to school for marketing, and a lot of entry-level jobs you get in marketing is social media marketing, and it's usually for someone or some fledgling business that needs a social media marketer because it's an old person that runs it, like an old woman, old guy, whatever it is, who's just like, yeah, I'm not on the internet like that. So they have no idea. They only have their own perspective on their life. Yeah. And the way they see that is just like, what type of fad is this? Like, they don't understand the benefits of it. And how could they, you know? That's why
it's hard for them because they don't have the perspective, you know?
You gotta be, I think the worst thing to be with AI is stubborn. And I know that's a hot
technology. Let's even generalize it even more. It's not just AI, it's just technology in general, because new stuff comes out and people are afraid of it all the time. All the time, dude. New technology comes out and people are scared of it. People were scared of the internet when it came out. People didn't, like, I remember the year 2000, dude. I remember the end of 1999. I remember people were scared that everything would get messed up because they were like, oh, it's the year 2000, the computers are all going to break, and everything it was like a scare, you know?
It did change everything. To be fair, like, they were right, but probably not to the extent. They're probably more so fearful of it, of how it would change. But they didn't recognize how advantageous it would be. You know, I can't even imagine what it would be like. I didn't grow up without the internet, so it's just.
I got to see both sides. I feel like I'm in a very small group of humanity over the history of time that got to experience a little bit of life before the internet and then life after the internet.
I agree totally, because I say this a lot, where I think as far as humanity goes right now, we're in a really dope frontier of technology.
No doubt, man. This is an exciting time for humanity, bro. Like,
very exciting time, bro. If you know how exponential growth works with technology and how quick shit just spikes and changes, I think we'll live to see, I don't want to say singularity, if you know what I'm talking about, but like, I think we'll live to see, if you and I live 100 years, hopefully, somewhere around there, I think we'll live to see some crazy some shit you and I wouldn't be able to wrap our heads around right now. That's what I hope.
Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for the future, and I think that that's important aspect to have in life. Is you always should be trying to be excited about the future. And I'm gonna say what's up to Cloudy for joining the chat. I appreciate you for coming and hanging out with us. Splash says, "What's up? I'm eating spaghetti right now." Hey man, Splash, I really do appreciate you coming and hanging out with us and supporting. Man, you are, in my opinion, you're a really inspirational individual in the scene. You work really hard. You inspire me. You're absolutely insane, and
big inspiration for me as well.
And you're just a really good friend, and I'm super grateful to have you in here with me hanging out. I hope Turbo's still here chilling too. But we're having a really good night tonight. Special guest is Bleed. He's a producer, sound designer, engineer. We've been playing some of his music in the background, just kind of chilling and hanging out while we're talking about AI and technology. Dude, you and I are, we just talk so easy. Am I right, bro? Like, it's just so natural.
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength. That I like that. With certain people, we kind of just, I'm like, all right, we're on the same wavelength. That's good. It's easy to talk to people like that.
And I love being able to bring on artists and producers or videographers or YouTubers that are just like excited to be here too. That's important to me. Like, that's something that I'm not going to get if I just go reaching out to people just because of their high follow count or something, you know? Like, I really, really, really feel so blessed and grateful that I can like make a difference in somebody's life and be like, hey, come on Spooky Sunday. I would love to have you. I want you to be part of the family. I want you to be part of like the history that I'm trying to build here. And you've just been such a great vibe, man. I just want to say thank you again for being here.
Thank you. This is so dope just to be a part of it. Like, I'm really blessed that you invited me on. I think it's so cool because I've always looked up to you before I was shit. Like, I'm still not shit, but like before I had like 1,000 followers, I'm like, oh, Spooky's nice.
I just love to see people doing well, man. I know we have mutual friends like Photon Tide. Like, I've been following him for effing years, bro. And to see his success, dude, it's just incredible. And I couldn't be happier for him, you know? Like, I would like that for as many artists as I can. Like, dude, like, go and find your space. Find your lane and go hard, you know? Like, everybody's completely different. Every single person is completely different, Bleed. Every single person. Nobody is going to have the same journey as any other person ever, period, you know? And
that's what I love about this community, bro. I love talking to everyone because everyone's experience is so unique. Because, bro, if you think about it, there's probably a very small percentage of people in just in general who would become a musician or decide to take their creative endeavor to the next level or try to chase it as a career. And there's certain struggles and experience you have doing that nobody else can relate to on some average life journey, you know? Like, that's why I think, like, what you do, and, like, I told you about Raw Pack a little bit.
Yeah, you could talk more about Raw Pack, by the way. If you guys are just tuning in, we got we have special guest Bleed tonight as our honorary guest. We're listening to some music, and I did promote a little bit in the copy on Twitter that you are the founder of Raw Pack. And I didn't really go into that too much because I wanted to leave it a little bit up to you to be able to describe it because I feel like you're the only one, as the founder, to do it justice. So if you want to, feel free to go.
When I was telling you about Raw Pack, I didn't know exactly how to word it because I wasn't about to say like leader of Raw Pack. I was like, I think like founder makes sense, but it's not about me as much as it's about everyone that's on the same, like you and I are on the same wavelength. Raw Pack is kind of like that, you know? Like Spooky Land and Raw Pack would merge very well. But it's really all like, people even I look up to, like Go Kami and Venexi is the blueprint for most producers nowadays, and not a lot of people know. I don't know if you know Venexi. Have you heard that name?
Just through you, actually.
Venexi is in every single producer's dog, guaranteed, or at least most of them. Like, everyone he's like the unsung hero of the producer community as far as MIDI kits go and drum kits go. Everyone's got some Venexi shit. He's an unsung hero, and I just wanted to say that because he doesn't get recognized enough. Like, follow Venexi and know that he's the GOAT behind the scenes.
I'm going to go. I'm going to take that to heart, and I'm going to do some real serious research and
You should,
and explore and discover Venexi, because if you're vouching in that way, it just makes me really excited and interested to see like what they're about, you know.
He's a guy where if you can get a hold of his loop kit, you can get a hold of some Venexi loops, you can get a placement. Just lay some drums on it, you'll place it. Like, he just has a certain swag. I mean, Splash Gang is like that too. Like, if you work with Splash Gang, you could be looking at a placement as well. Like, he just has that certain type of talent. And that vein of music, specifically with rock and shit. Venexi's more on the rage, super trap sound. And I also want to say Go Kami too. Like, Go Kami being a part of Raw Pack, just in the chat in general is awesome for all the newcomers in there too. Like, Go Kami is my favorite producer in the scene right now. As much as Venexi's the unsung hero, I think Go Kami's one of the most talented, just sonically and catalog wise. You look at Go Kami's catalog, you might quit, bro. If you're a producer, it's just crazy. Like,
only if you compare yourself. Only if you compare yourself, which, you know, like we said earlier, man, don't do that. Don't do that. Stay focused on your art. Keep loving what you do. But I'm going to research, dude. I'm really hyped, because what I really love also, in addition to everything that we do with Spooky Sunday Bleed, is like I get to find so many more people. Like, you know, like I consider it the World Wide Web. This is what I call it. I call it the World Wide Web. You know, it's just like, in my mind, I think of a spider web, and my spider web is connected to you now, right? And my spider web's also connected to like Splash Gang, right? And like there's like all these connections, and it's like I love sending a web to another place, you know? Like, I love just like growing the network, the web, you know what I'm saying?
My web is gonna get you some cool Spooky Sunday guests.
I would love that, man. I would absolutely love that.
Just as a fan, an audience member, if I could see or hear a Venexi interview on here, as a fan, I would just be stoked on that. Like, I would love to hear more about Venexi or Go Kami. Or Rot, for example, was in here. Rot is killing it right now. He's on the Billboard every other week. I would love to hear their backgrounds outside of just what we talk about as friends, you know?
So you're saying that you would vouch for them to be on Spooky Sunday? Like, you would be like, yo, you gotta go check out Spooky because he's doing cool stuff.
No brainer.
That's what's up, man. I need your cosign, Bleed. That's all I'm asking for.
You got my cosign, bro. Bro, this has been dope. I don't know how long we've been going for, but like, my brain has just been on autopilot vibing with this.
Bro,
you know? Like,
let me tell you something, Bleed. Every single Sunday before the stream, I got butterflies in my basket, bro. I get nervous. I'm like, yo, you know, my palms get sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yeah, you know, but it's because I care so much, you know? Like, I really want every episode to be great.
I relate to that so much, because this whole week, it's really weird how things work out with me and my psyche and shit. Because this whole week I was really nervous about it. Because I hadn't talked to you before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. But when I woke up this morning, I was like, I hope the nerves don't hit me, bro. Like, I don't need that.
Bro, they always hit me.
I felt great and excited all day, and like, just even the hour prior to going live, just talking to you, I was like, this is all just great, bro. Like, like, if we ended right now, I would have great things to say about you, you know? And I want to get Venexi on here now that we've just been on a tangent about him.
We're gonna make it happen. I think that if people give me the chance and they see what I'm trying to do, I think that people will endorse the movement. You know, I truly believe in my heart that if people give me the chance, then we'll be fine, you know? So I just want to stop and say thank you to every single person that is here right now in the chat, every single person that's in my Discord, our Discord. You guys are literally helping me make my dreams come true. I literally could not do anything without you. I could not do anything without you. This is all community based. This is entirely something that I want to do. This is not like a pre-recorded conversation with pre-written questions for Bleed, like a little interview that I'm going to post on YouTube. This is something that I want to involve the community with, something that I want to bring you guys as like an experience, something that you can be part of, something that you can interact with. By the way, if you guys haven't already, Splash Gang is asking apple juice or orange juice. Put it in the chat right now, you guys. Apple juice or orange juice. But I really do appreciate every single person that pulls up and shows support, especially like my friends like Splash. I've known him for like dang near 20, almost 20 years, I'm pretty sure now. Like, for you to be here, brother, it just means everything to me. Devin for pulling up almost every single Sunday and like showing love. Like, dude, I really appreciate you guys. Shout
out Devin.
You guys are more than welcome to pop in once in a while and say, you know, add to the conversation if you'd like to. I'm really good at talking, and my biggest fear, guys, is like dead silence with nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I usually just keep my mouth moving. But you guys can always be like, yo, Spook, and just like intervene if you'd like to. So please feel free.
Yo, shout out King, said apple all the way. Apple juice. It's apple juice all the way. Especially drink it before bed. You have crazy dreams. That's a fact.
Yo, I have like some sort of like, I don't know, like I get like heartburn and stuff like that from like certain things. Like, I don't know, like I feel like apple juice might be a little bit better on my tummy maybe than like an acidic orange juice. But I really love orange juice. It's really delicious. But
yeah, I do love orange juice. I like it with the pulp too. I'm a freak. I love the pulp.
Me too, man. Me too.
Yeah.
Dev says, I'm just happy to be here to support and vibe with y'all. The conversations are always interesting, and I learned something new every episode and put on to somebody new. Yeah, if you guys aren't already, Bleed is a super dope producer, artist. I think that you're in a lane of your own. I think that when I wrote up the article, I haven't had a guest like you yet, dude. Like,
for real.
I think that you are doing your own thing, and I really do respect your grind. I see you working really hard at what you're doing, and I want to bring people on to help inspire and motivate the community and be like, yo, like, you know, like I want to walk away from today, like we end the stream and then tomorrow you wake up with like a mentality of like, yo, we're gonna fucking get it today, you know, like it's Monday morning tomorrow, you guys. I want you guys to wake up and feel like, yo, I'm about to kill it this week. You know, that's really what I want to do.
I want producers to just know how shit really is and to just operate off that. Like, know how the game works. Don't get caught up in misconceptions about shit. Especially the younger producers. Like, just do you, bro, all day.
It's so funny
because I don't care if you're weird or you're trash or whatever. Drop your fucking shit. People, you're you. No one else can do you. Nobody else can do you.
Nobody is you, and that's like
just you, bro. There will be people that like it. There will be.
No doubt, man. I think that it just takes time sometimes to find your way. Like I said, man, like we're on episode 17 of Spooky Sunday right now, you guys. But this is only the beginning. If you're here right now, you are so early. You are so OG that I can't even like tell you how early you are. I plan to do this for so long, you know. And I truly believe in my vision that we're going to build a really beautiful platform to really put on like amazing artists and to really help people. I want to help people. I really want to make a difference in people's lives, Bleed. You know, like I want to be able to be like, yo, I want like imagine if Spooky Sunday, like getting an episode on Spooky Sunday changed your life. Like imagine that.
It will be like if you keep the same energy consistently, there's no reason why it wouldn't be like that some way. You have a wide open lane right now. Really, you do.
I swear.
Who else is doing it right now?
I'm trying. I literally try. I can't. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
You're the guy to do it, bro. Like, never forget that. You're the guy. Like, you have to be the guy because no one else is going to do it. No one else is going to do it.
I just
you're the guy to do it, bro. I can trust you.
It means a lot to me, Bleed, because I've spent years in the scene. Like, you know, like I've been trying to be a positive person in the scene for years. And if you guys know anything about like social media and how things blow up and stuff like that, there's a reason that there's so many Twitter fight pages where they're just posting fight videos. There's so many like controversial videos and stuff like that. That's because they blow up. Like there's nothing that really blows up about positivity. You know, like good vibes and stuff like that. People don't really, they don't like...
That's what you call organic growth, bro.
Exactly,
like,
bro.
Really, like not just the hot button word organic growth. You have real organic growth. Because I've experimented with fight pages type shit. I know how quickly, if you stop posting fight videos all fucking day, because I literally ran an account like this, all your followers are gone. They're all gone. what you have is something that's timeless. You know, you have yourself set up for the long term. That's why I respect you. You have that hindsight to see that the short term little bullshit for clicks is not gonna pay off ultimately, and we've seen that fail before. And I'm just glad we have someone who's doing it. Like you're the guy to do it.
Thank you, bro. And it really does mean a lot because I really do care about the community, especially like we were saying earlier. You know, a lot of people in the community deal with, you know, a lot of artists, musicians in our community. They deal with a lot of mental health issues, dude. A lot of issues that are like really difficult to overcome. Even me myself, I deal with severe anxiety, dude, and depression too. But lately, mostly just severe anxiety, like almost to the point where like cripples me. And sometimes I have to like force myself to get up here and just say like, this is my dream, I have to do this, you know. And I just like, I want to inspire.
I would have never known, bro. I think the way you present yourself is confident and dope, bro. Like
it's because when I'm here, dude, that's because when I'm here in Spooky Sunday with you and the gang, like all the other things go away, bro. Like when we're here tonight on a Sunday, like I let everything else go, and I'm just like, I really want to just stay focused on like what really matters tonight.
You have to get up in front of if you're in like a business firm and you gotta be in a side office room and present a PowerPoint about some shit you don't care about to a bunch of people in suits. Like, yeah, that's gonna be a little nerve-wracking and you're not gonna feel right, but like we're at home with this shit, you know. Like I feel at home with you because you get it. Like, you know, you're living this shit. Like you're really, no one's telling you what to do. It's all off your own grind. I'll always have respect for people like that.
I pretty much, like, other than my girlfriend who helps me out with things in my life, I don't really have any single person that helps me other than like my mods in my chat. Like the people that have volunteered to help in Spookyland, to help grow the Discord, to help like make it a safe, comfortable, cool place to chill and hang out. Like I need a community to help me. I can't do everything on my own, you know. Like I can't. At some point it's gonna be so hard for me to keep this up, you know. And I'm just grateful for every single person like that has ever supported me in any way at all, even just like a retweet or just reaching out to a DM and being like, hey man, you inspire me, you know. Like that really means the world. It's so funny how like excuse me, the smallest thing can mean so much, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
King says, sorry guys, I don't mean to ignore the chat. King said, I'm gonna leave my data on so I can listen on the drive home because I'm invested in this one. Hey, I really appreciate that. It means a lot, dude. Cloudy, I thank you for being here again. Splash says stay the course, dude. And Splash, you're somebody that has stayed the course, dude. You had a vision. I remember we were hanging out
I love it. He gets it, bro. He gets it. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, man. I overtalk sometimes a little bit, but Splash is he's like a brother of mine. I've literally known him for 20 years, and you know, we've sat around and had deep conversations and stuff, like long before he even sold beats and stuff. You know, we've had dreams together, and it's just really cool to see people do well and to see people like to follow a dream. That's what I'm doing right now, right this instant, right this second with you, Bleed. I'm following my dream. Trying to build a community, a platform, something that people eventually will not be able to ignore, you know?
You're ahead of the pack right now. You got your lane and you're in first place. That's how I look at it. Just keep doing it.
Dev said, gotta dip out the VC, but I'm in YouTube still. Okay, man, I appreciate that. It doesn't matter at all. I'm just happy to have you no matter what, man. It doesn't matter if you guys are in the voice channel with us, which you're more than welcome to, or if you're in the YouTube chat. That's either way is a great support, and I'm just happy to have everybody here. King
that's
says,
awesome.
oh God, the stream sounds so much better in the car than my phone speaker. Well, that's good to hear, man. Pixelated says, LF grow. Let's fucking grow, man. That's what I'm saying, bro. Trying to put out some good vibes. Some
I love that.
Let's fucking grow, bro. Great. I love that. That's my cousin.
Yeah, I'm stealing that.
That's my
I
cousin.
Might steal that.
Yeah, you should. He's he's been such a big part of my life too, man. I'm not trying to steal the show or anything, but I just love to show I love to show love to the community, you know, like everybody that pops in here, Bleed, to hang out with us and to take time to listen to us talk, man. I mean, like, dude, you know, how sick is that?
I think it's incredible, dude. The fact I have the YouTube stream pulled up and just seeing the chat move, I'm just like, wow, people are really tuning in. Like, Spooky, you're that guy. I love to see it. And I know if you're related to that guy, he's probably pretty cool too.
Yeah, man, I'm just.
Is that's your cousin, Pixelated?
Yeah, that's my cousin. He's actually really dope, dude. He's such. Not only is he like a super great vibe like me, but he's worked on movies and stuff. He's worked for like Sony.
No, what?
No, blockbuster movies and stuff, like big movies. He's done like slight alterations in After Effects and stuff, like eye color and stuff like that in certain movies, like visual effects and stuff. So.
Wait.
Follow him. Follow my cousin on Twitter, you guys. Pixelated. P1X. You know, just like it says in YouTube. That's his username. He's working on some Web3 stuff. I'm kind of into Web3 as well. I got like some stuff that I've minted, some art.
Yeah, me too. I'm into Web3.
So
we can talk about.
Yeah. What do you think about? What are you doing in Web3?
Well, I started off. I don't know. I kind of have like a whole NFT story. I don't know if you're familiar. Yeah, I just want to get followed. Is it Pixelated with the one as the eye?
Yeah, dude, please follow him, man. He's such a dude. I love him. I love him so much.
He sounds like a dope guy.
That's my cousin for real.
I mean, just like I'll try to like keep the story brief. But
we got all night, baby.
So I was approached on Twitter out of the blue from this guy who ran this website called resample.com. And the whole concept of the site was you could just upload your loops and people could buy your kits or buy individual loops one at a time. That was the concept. And one day, probably my junior year during college, I was like, yo, I have this HTML project. I will pay you money to do it for me. It's a final, because like I'm not trying to work on HTML shit while I'm at school. Like I probably could ask you, to be honest.
Yo, I used to be proficient, but that was 20 years ago. So
yeah, so okay, I tweeted this thing, and this guy named Ben, shout out Ben, despite everything that's happened since, which I'll get into, he approached me and he was like, "Hey, I'll do this for you for free." And I was like, really, dude? Like, I'll send you money to do it. Like, you don't have to just do it for free. At the time, I didn't understand why he would just do it for me. He's like, no, I'll do it. And he just banged out my entire final exam for that class and got me an A-.
What the hell?
It would have taken me days. And it was like, he just banged it out in 45 minutes. And he finished it, and I submitted it online. So you get your grade back online really quick. And I was like, dude, like, why would you just give me an A+ or an A- in this class for free? And he's like, well, I also like I have this idea for you, and he pitched me this new beat selling platform that he wanted to do. And he brought this domain called fi.af, and the whole concept, which we kind of got into, the original concept, I don't remember what he said. He just wanted to, I don't know, he wanted to kind of combine the perks to beat stars and the perks to track train into one beat selling platform that would work. And he pitched me this idea, and he was like, I need a producer in the community that could kind of like be the guy who advertises this thing. And I was like, fuck yeah, like this is a cool opportunity for me, like I like it. And my thing was, I changed the idea. I wanted there to be this website of a leaderboard based off rankings. It would be a beat store where it's like a chart, like a billboard chart.
Dude, I've literally thought about this myself, bro. I'm so serious, dude. That's so crazy that you bring that up, because I've literally thought about that. I even thought about having it like voted by the community, so like the community decides what one goes up and what goes down.
You think about it.
I even thought about Bleed. I even got to the point where I was thinking, but well, we wouldn't want people to just send people here or pay people to come and make it go up, so we'd have to make it like anonymous of some kind, so that like you couldn't you wouldn't be able to just like do whatever you wanted, you know, like you would have to, I don't know. I thought about all kinds of stuff though.
We literally developed this thing. We had a guy who worked for Ford doing our web design logos for us, because my manager at the time he's like a web developer. Like he'll do, like he sent me things before, like he'll do like a weed dispensary's website and do all the little animations similar to what you do, but with like a lot of like coding in the background. And we had a legitimate team. I don't know if you know Haruhe San. You've seen him around on Twitter?
I'm not sure.
The Asian guy started Wave Force. Probably, maybe not. He hasn't really been around as much anymore, but he was a part of the program, and we just wanted to do this thing. Well, I wanted to have it be this leaderboard style beat selling platform, because think about it, if you're a buyer on a beat selling
you want to know what's hot, like, and to have.
You want to know what the coolest shit. What does everyone like? It's so beneficial, and it just made sense, and it was also beneficial to the sellers, because if you're talented, your work is going to get recognized and it's going to get sold. You're going to make money off of it. Right? So, okay, we have this great idea going, like, between me and him, his coding expertise, and, like, I could advertise the product. It was going really well. And Harua. Right around this time is when NFTs came out for the very first fucking time. And for the art community, when NFTs first came out, everyone loved it. Because the idea of NFTs was, okay, we have a lot of these digital artists, we have musicians, we have underpaid creatives, right? And NFTs were, like, you know, Beeple, the guy who was selling his crazy art for like 20s of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
He was like a guy where it's like, artists can really make a fuck ton of money off of this format of selling their work, right? And I was so behind that, because I was like, dude, this is great for producers, this is great for artists and graphic designers, people who are so underpaid. NFTs are going to be a great opportunity for them. And at the time, it was when we were developing this site where we already had the ranking system set up for this Fi.af thing. And we were like, well, what do we do here? Do we just launch the site as it is with this idea, or do we implement NFTs? And we were all on a Zoom call, and we decided, like, well, we might as well implement NFTs into this. And because it was cool at the time. It was before the community was like, fuck NFTs, before we knew about the environmental things.
Well, that's all changed, by the way.
Yeah, it might be different now, but this was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was before anyone knew about it, you know. It was, I was like really fucking early, and I'm not proud to say that because of how hated they are now, but
I don't think so, bro. I've held Ethereum since like 2017.
Oh, as far as crypto goes, yeah, that's different.
So
I'm talking like NFTs though. Like we put all of our eggs in one basket with the NFTs. We're going to be the first beat selling platform that does this cool leaderboard thing, but we're going to be the NFT guys. So just in case if NFTs took off for producers, which they did not, we would be the guys to have that platform for it. And he spent 6 months developing a smart contract, which you have to do for an NFT platform. It's on the blockchain. Mm-hmm. And we wasted 6 months of time. And by the time we finished it and had this final product, NFTs were fucking hated by everyone.
They're not hated by everybody.
They're not hated by everyone. But the music community, I could not be a guy who advertises NFTs.
But
I'd fall off.
But do you know how easy it is to sway that vote though? Like, this is one of the easiest swayed votes of all time because
it wasn't though. You look at Photon Tide, right? In his vein of graphic design, it works for him, right? But when particularly on Twitter, people are really sensitive to things that are fucking with the environment. I've seen it firsthand enough.
Well, I'm gonna be honest though. Like, everything that they were talking about with the environment, that has already been changed because they moved. They moved the Ethereum network from proof of work to proof of stake, and that reduced the environmental impact by 99.99%.
Listen, nobody cares about your average Twitter user has not done that research. They're not even willing to agree with that, and that's something
but you're not. But you can't be worried about the average Twitter user. You can only be worried about your community. You know, that's kind of like the whole point of what we're talking about.
You would have hated me for being a part of NFTs. That was the problem. It was like,
dude, I'm gonna be honest. JV has NFTs that I have right now. JV is a super inspirational artist, producer that has produced many songs for Nothing Nowhere. He's minting songs and stuff like that.
I totally understand that there's still a market for it because, like, I have a lot of NFT.
I wouldn't even use the word market. I would use interest. There's still interest in it because you have to remember that Web3 is not Web2. Like, Web3 is an entirely different beast. This is something completely different.
Web3 is more of just the infrastructure.
Remember,
that NFT
Bleed. Remember we were talking earlier about how people are afraid of technology that they don't understand.
Well, I think NFTs is just one branch of that spider web as far as Web3 goes. I think that's just one like neat memorabilia thing that goes along with Web3 technology. Is like if you want to hold an NFT for a certain moment, like a concert ticket. Yeah, that could be cool as far as memorabilia and resale value goes. But as far as me as a producer and someone with a social media presence, especially at the time when I was on Twitter as much as I was, like, I could not put my name next to NFTs without getting blasted. That's just a fact. And like some people were fortunate enough to have an audience where they wouldn't give a shit, or they had enough crypto or NFT people in their audience. And that's dope. Like Photon Tide, he made a lot of money off it and did the shit right. But for me, when I was so vocal about how I didn't like ebook producers and just anyone kind of just fucking around for money, it wouldn't have worked for me.
I just think that there's a huge difference in trying to do something to make money from people and to do something because it's cool and it's Web3. You know, I think that that's an important thing to stop and be like, because like right now I'm sharing my screen and these are NFTs that I've minted and I'm giving them away. Like I give them away for free. Like because I want people to have art that's mine. Like they're not for sale.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
If you're giving them away for free, you're kind of where I was at originally with NFTs. It was like, this is just like a cool new medium for artists to get their art out there in circulation. If you're making money off of it, great. Like I've gotten a couple of NFTs minted. I've minted a couple beats myself. I've sold them. It's cool, but it got robbed by celebrities like Jake Paul or like random people who got deals and just kind of ruined the name of NFTs, you know? And we sold just to finish up that Phi.AF story, my manager and we ended up selling that smart contract. And when the disconnect between me and my manager was he got a job offer from that guy Gary V. You know Gary V?
Of course I do.
Yeah, he got a job offer from him to work on a new NFT project, and he kind of was like, well, I'm not going to turn this down. Like,
yeah, I just want to be, I want to be objective about it and just say, just because some people are losers in a certain community doesn't mean everybody's a loser. And I think that the technology should still be looked at as a tool and still be valued, whether people are, you know,
I totally agree with that. I just, like, when we're talking, Web3 is not the same thing as NFTs, though.
It is.
Like,
I mean, NFTs are part of it. I mean, an NFT technically isn't just a picture. It's not just a picture. It could be a plot of land in a video game.
NFTs is just one string attached to what Web3 can do. You know what I mean? Like, NFTs doesn't speak for all of the future of...
No, in fact, people will stop calling them NFTs, and then they'll start calling them probably like something like digital collectibles or something like that. If I had to guess, I don't
because the name's already been soiled. They're gonna have to regardless. But Web3 brings along a lot of different exciting things that aren't NFTs either. It's just the problem is most people associate it with cash grabs.
Exactly, and that's not what I mean. You can't lump everybody into the same label. That's not fair, you know. Like Photon is not like a rug puller, you know what I'm saying? Like Photon is a great artist. He's a great dude and he makes beautiful art and people love it, you know. It's like if you're making art and people want it, I mean,
that's a shame.
Yeah, it's an opportunity.
I told you, I know, like I was there when NFTs were conceived.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
We were lucky enough like to be a part of it early on, you know. Like I really loved the idea of it, bro, and like the way I introduced.
But don't say loved. Don't say loved like past tense, though.
I did. I used to love the idea of it, but because I thought it would bring a lot more support to artists that I think are underpaid, and that's not what happened. It brought hate to people.
No, I think it takes time, bro. That's the thing. Is like
it will take time. Eventually, it'll find a way. It'll find a way. It's just a part of the infrastructure, but it's unfortunate of who kind of held the torch for the time being. You know, I agree with you. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunate who abused the system.
It's definitely unfortunate because people. There's always going to be, no matter what you do, there's always going to be a small a small percentage of people that will ruin it for everybody else. No matter what you do, bro. It could be a show where somebody brings a gun to. You know, it could be anything in the whole world. All it takes is a few people to ruin.
It's not small.
Well,
most people hate NFTs, to be honest. Just like factually, most people hate NFTs nowadays.
But is it fair to say that they hate them if they don't truly understand how they work, though?
No, that's why they hate them. That's why they hate them.
Because people hated the internet when it first came out. People hate social media.
As someone who is there and who like thoroughly understands NFTs, I understand why people hate them because they only have a surface level understanding of them. And no, like your average person's not gonna be like, oh, what's an NFT? Like, oh, I see how a smart contract works. Now this could benefit art. Like, no one's gonna look into it that far. They're gonna grab onto the hot button issue or the virtue signaling position that could easily get, you know what I mean? Like, it's too easy to just. It's unfortunate, to be honest. I like that, and that's what I said with the whole Fi as fuck thing, the Fi.af thing. I was hoping it would be a great avenue or a new thing for producers to.
I'm still not discounting the idea, bro. I still don't think it's a bad idea. Like, it just needs to be executed properly by the right people. That's all that it takes.
I lost my guy. That's the only thing. I lost my guy to Gary Vee. He took my manager, bro. Gary Vee stole my manager. But I mean, it's cool. We got the money off the smart contract that I was a part of. I got what I was deserved. I mean, I got my equity percentage worth. I'm happy with it. I'm glad he moved on to greener pastures with it. I'm no longer a part of it. But I fundamentally believe that NFTs were built to help artists. It's a shame what happened with.
Let me try to give you my best example of what I think. The amount of money that goes into cryptocurrency, right? Think about this. Think about the percentage of billionaires that are using it for investments, millionaires/billionaires that are using it as an investment versus normal people that use it for normal things. What is the percentage of money that is treating it like an investment rather than a normal person using it on a normal level?
Do you mean now or at the peak of its popularity? Because crypto's been in the gutter for the last year. Crypto's been in the shitter.
I've been following Bitcoin and Ethereum for many years, and there's always going to be. This is where like millionaires and billionaires and stock markets, they all go together. Like the stock markets and cryptocurrencies, they're all tied together.
Look up the Bitcoin graph for the past year. This is why I'm out of crypto.
Look at it for its lifetime though.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I'm not denying the fact that there's gonna be.
Do you know how many times that it peaked? I remember seeing it peak in 2018, and then it came way down for years, 2 or 3 years, and everybody said, "Well, Bitcoin's dead." And this was back in 2017, 2018. So I would have to go back and look. But then in 2021, you know what happened?
I'm a pretty avid investor. Yeah.
You know what happened? After everybody said it was dead, you think it's dead right now? Then you're wrong as fuck. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you think that Bitcoin or Ethereum or Web3 or yeah, of course it's down because you're looking at what the millionaires and billionaires are doing. You're not looking at what normal communities are doing. You're when you look at the price of Bitcoin, that is not a normal.
Listen. I'm telling you, I know my Bitcoin.
Okay? Me too. I'm just saying that's not a normal. Dude, you're looking at what people are trading it for, not what it's used for.
Bitcoin is in the gutter as far as the last few years of its popularity. It's in the gutter right now. That's not like, I'm just saying, like, factually speaking, you can't make money on Bitcoin right now. You need to wait until whatever happens. But I had a cousin who tried to put me onto Bitcoin really early on. Like, when I was, like, 7 or 8 years ago, he tried to put me on. He got rich off it, bought his house off it. He's a Princeton graduate. He knows his shit. So, like, I've been very familiar with crypto. Like, I'm still an investor in Ethereum. I've held on to Ethereum because I still believe in Ethereum. I mean, I've tested my luck with a lot of different cryptos in my past. I had Bitcoin ETFs that I trusted for a while. Bitcoin ETFs were like the safe route to take. But yeah, I mean, Bitcoin in its 40 grand to 50 grand era was great. I thought I would recommend it to other people, but now I'm not I don't even know where it's at. It's probably in the 20s, teens. Where is it at right now?
Just under 30, probably.
Just under 30. Okay.
I guess it's around 28.
Yeah.
But
that's half the
that has
value
nothing to
it
do.
was
But
worth.
that has nothing to do with communities of Web3. Web3 is being treated like an investment when it's not. That's not what it is. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like my whole point on it is when you look at the value of it, that is a value that's not real. Like this is a value that will go up and down. It will go up and down forever over years because it is tied to the stock markets. It's tied to millionaires and billionaires that are treating it as an investment. They're not treating it as a community. They're not treating it as a technology that can be used for any sort of purpose. None of them. Even all the little small altcoins. All the little altcoins. I'm saying, like, all those altcoins, they don't have to have any sort of purpose, and they'll still garnish, like, some sort of market cap of, like, millions or billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying?
What does that mean to you, though? Altcoins making millions of dollars. What is that? What value does that hold for you, besides a pump of them?
I'm just saying it's fake. It just goes with the. It goes with
okay,
the.
You understand that at least.
No, it just goes with. Dude, look at. Please, all I'm gonna say is, if you look at the stock market, when the stock market is doing excellent, that's when Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the coins do excellent. When the stock market is struggling, and there's a war happening, and all the investors are taking their money out of crypto, all the people that are spending millions and billions that are treating it like an investment, not treating it as a technology that can be used for small artists or for a platform or for any other purpose. They're only treating, when 99% of the money that's involved in it right now is being treated like an investment. That's the problem. It's not that it's not valuable. When I say it, dude, it will definitely go way back up. It will be, dude, Bitcoin will go past 64,000 again. I guarantee it. I guarantee you it will go past 64,000 again. All you have to do is wait for the war to end, wait for the stock markets to recover, and that shit will go right back up. I promise you. Because you know what never changes is greed. People will always try to make money wherever they can. And that's not how you should be looking at Web3, because Web3 isn't about an investment. It's about the technology. You know, the technology is special. It gives you a sense of actually owning something digital, and owning something digital in today's day and age is really important. We are moving into a digital age.
But bro, it's more than that. That's what I was trying to say earlier, how NFTs were just one part of Web3, because Web3 is a whole infrastructure. It'll be the next tier of the internet. You know, it's more than just like Bitcoin stock is not representative of what Web3 is going to be. That's not what
even
I
a little.
meant. Not even close.
There's some really dope small communities that are doing really cool things within Web3. You know, and what that means is doing it on the blockchain.
I know. I like nameless NFT personally. Like I'm very tapped in with that.
Obviously,
community.
Photon. You know, you already know that's dope as fuck. You know?
My guy, bro. I got a lot of music with Photon. We talked about NFT music before. We kind of agreed upon the fact that it's not the lane either of us want to go into, but there's definitely potential in it. And outside of NFTs, there's different Web3 applications that we'll see with music. Even with like virtual reality and stuff like that, Web3 is the infrastructure for that. I'm not denying that Bitcoin is. I'm not saying that it's not important. I'm very familiar. I made a lot of money off Bitcoin. I've been fortunate enough to have people that put me on early, like my cousin that I told you about. So I've always been a Bitcoin advocate, but that's not to say there's not merit to their critics. You know. No,
the criticism is greed, as it is with all things, bro. There's a reason that we
all agree. It's partially greed. I mean, you could look at the numbers though. Like you can look at Bitcoin and see that it's at half its value on its.
Well, it depends on if you're looking at cup half full or cup half empty. I mean, at one point it peaked at $111 each, and people were going crazy, like, "Oh my God, Bitcoin's worth $111."
I guess you could say, like, just think about where it peaked maximum value, how much a share.
But that peak changes every 5 years.
I know, but there's always a maximum, right? And where it's at, you have to compare to its maximum, especially when it was on such a steady incline and then just fell off. It's a problem. I mean, Bitcoin was the most reliable crypto, right?
Well, it's got the largest market cap.
Next to Ethereum, it was the most blue chip type of crypto to invest in.
Yeah, it's got the largest market cap. I mean, there's more money invested in Bitcoin than any other cryptocurrency. It's the number one. Ethereum is number two. You know, I believe that Ethereum will pass it though one day. But
what do you think? What do you think will happen with, like, how do you think Bitcoin will manifest itself into our economy?
I don't think
Web3?
it really will. I think that Ethereum is going to flip Bitcoin. I think that Ethereum will become the biggest. I think that this is my personal opinion. This is not, you know, this is just an opinion, you know, guys. This is not anything, you know, I just think this. I think that Ethereum is going to pass Bitcoin. I think that Ethereum will become the bigger cryptocurrency, at least for a long time. I think that it's going to be the biggest currency for a long time. And I think that there's going to be a lot of different things built on Web3. And I think that it's safe to say that if done correctly, especially now that Ethereum is on a proof to stake structure where it no longer needs it no longer uses power. Basically, the long story short is 99.99% of the environmental impact on Ethereum has been lowered. It's been lowered to almost nothing. There's almost nothing. And I'm not going to go into the logistics of how consensus works. Yeah, but
it's complicated.
It's complicated, but all you need to know is the biggest knock on Ethereum. The biggest knock on Ethereum and Bitcoin was, well, if you mine it, then you're using all this power. Like your graphics card and everything is using all this power, and that's true. It really was. But Bitcoin is nearly 100% mined. I mean, at last I checked, it was nearly 90%. And Ethereum is at proof of stake now. So, like, when it comes to environmental impact, it's almost zero at this point. And once it reaches zero, there's going to be a lot less criticism, and there's going to be a lot less people that are going to be hating on it. And it is okay to hate on it for a good reason. There's a good reason to hate on something that's uselessly using up shit, like as much electricity as an entire country, a small country, is doing. You know, like, I definitely understand that view. But the fact that Bitcoin is nearly 100% mined, once it's all mined and there's no more to mine, I mean, that's going to drop dramatically. And Ethereum being on proof of stake, that is no longer an issue as well. And now you have to start thinking about the future. And when I start thinking about the future, and we talked about technology earlier, I was saying, Bleed, that, you know, a lot every year, you know, there's more interest in holding something digital. Like even our phones and our money, like we look at our bank statements on our phone, and that's a digital number. That's not real cash that you guys are looking at. In fact, to assume that the bank has your money is even almost questionable. You should almost assume that the bank doesn't actually have your money specifically. It might be in somebody else's account, and they just have like a reference number that shows how much money that they owe you, and that's your account number. You know what I'm saying? So we're already in a digital age completely. And, you know, downloading video games digitally, streaming movies digitally, it would make sense for us to get to the point as humans to be collecting digital assets.
Your cousin nailed it. He literally is. That's what he got hired for in the chat. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's what he got hired for, is to make Gary Vee's smart contracts.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, Gary Vee's maybe the biggest name in Web3.
I mean, that's I couldn't blame him. I was like, I'm glad that I helped you end up in that position. I think it's cool, but I wish I got something out of it.
I just try to be fair, you know. Bleed, I try to, like, I want to be objective.
Dude, I think you are. I think you are. The fact that you're supportive of it and you're going against the grain and actually,
I wouldn't say. I just think that there's a good place for it. I wouldn't say, like, I'm not going to tell people to go buy Ethereum or anything like that, but I will say, like, hey, listen, we talked earlier about how you need to understand the technology. You need to understand how it's a tool for you. You need to understand how it could benefit you. If new technology comes out and you hate on it, that does you no good. That does you no good. Because guess what? You hating on a certain technology is not going to make it go away. It really won't. It really is not going to happen. That's just a fact.
When I was explaining, I used to have the same conversations with my manager. I was just like, why is everyone calling out this environmental shit? Like,
no, they had a good point.
There used to be GPU farms, and I wasn't aware of it at the time, but when you look at a GPU farm versus your average person's carbon footprint that they are totally unaware of and apparently guilt-free of, it doesn't really compare. Like, dude, you leave your light on when you go to sleep, like, okay, like,
No doubt, bro. I mean, like realistically, the amount of like
That's
computers
how I
that I run at my house, like I use my graphics card to run Fortnite. Is anybody gonna hate on me for that? No, but
Right,
they might hate on me for mining Bitcoin with it.
You know what it is, Spooky? I'll tell you what the thing is. NFTs were giving a lot of people a lot of money, and when you have a lot of people making a lot of money, you're gonna have a lot of critics, and people on Twitter especially will find any little nitpick type of thing to completely knock your shit down, and they will study at that shit. They'll do their homework and find any angle to do it, and I'm totally aware of that, bro, because I was on board with NFTs. I'm an investor of Ethereum, Bitcoin. Like, I'm totally on board with that shit. I'm not disagreeing with you, but the problem is, as a creator and as a brand, you gotta be wary of what you associate yourselves with, because you can never be sure of how educated your audience is on certain things. If particularly Twitter, like, I felt like what I literally did was I was like, no NFTs for me, bro. Fuck all that shit, because I felt like people would have been like,
but I want to be can I be critical of you?
Totally.
Giving into a mob mentality is also something that you should steer away from. I mean, like, if you believe in something, you have to remember the reason. Hold on, let me finish. You have to remember the reason that you believed in it. And there's a reason that you believed in it. It wasn't for no reason. You weren't doing it for money. You were literally trying to build a platform, right? And then obviously when
no, listen. I've literally, the only thing that was on the table for me was this opportunity from my manager to do this certain NFT collection on this website called Nameless NFT, and he was like, you could be a part of this, and I turned it down despite how much money I could have made on it, because I didn't want my name next to NFTs, because I prioritized the music and my name.
I just don't think you're gonna get canceled for that, though. Like, in my opinion,
you could think that, but I felt better personally. It's the same way when I got viral tweets and I had accounts DMing me, telling me, "Hey, reply under your tweet."
No doubt.
Of this dildo, post these. You've seen them before a million times. I've gotten that 6 or 7 times before. I'm not gonna do that. They offer you $500. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that shit next to my name.
Are you familiar with? No, absolutely, bro. I understand completely what you're saying. Like,
absolutely. It's an integrity thing.
Absolutely, bro. I totally get that. Are you familiar with CoffeeZilla, by the way?
Totally.
He's an investigative journalist that researched the Logan Paul rug pull and a bunch of investors.
I know my crypto shit, bro.
Yeah, me too. And that's why I think that we can have a really good. That's why I think that we can have a really good conversation, because, like, of course I'm no financial advisor or anything like that, but I do, like, I was there, like I said earlier, like in the stream, guys, I was there at the beginning of the internet, in a way, like, I remember life before the internet at all, and I remember it scaring the shit out of people. And then
you're the guy to talk to, for real, and you have the coolest perspective.
I think millennials in general have an interesting perspective on Web3, because, like, the youth sees Web3 and they see all these scams and shit like that, and it's true, there are a lot of fucking scams, and it's really sad. It's super sad, actually. Like, the amount of people that have been robbed through Web3, through crypto, through NFT projects or fake projects even, it's really, really, really sad, because a lot of people are just in it to make a quick dollar, and
you know how I would put it, bro? I think the NFT scene was hijacked. I just think it was hijacked.
By who?
Celebrities that were paid by NFT companies.
There's definitely that, but I just want to say, like, on an objective level, though, Bleed. I just want to say, on an objective level, and I'm trying to look at all things equally, I want to look at both sides as equal as I possibly can, because I think it's also unfair to blame a technology for people's greed, because the biggest problem with
technology is the person selling it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that you could do something really cool in NFTs and still be cool, bro. Like, you could be giving them away. You could be minting songs and being like, hey, I want anybody that's into this to have this for free. I'm going to make only 50 of them, and you're going to be the only ones to have this song. And I think that people that are in that community would appreciate that, because they understand that you're not selling it. You're not trying to make millions of dollars. You're not rug pulling. Like, there's a certain level of being able to look at something and be like, You know, like I said earlier, like JV, he's got a really dope community, and not a lot of people are like buying his NFTs or anything. I mean, he's not like selling NFTs or anything, but he's giving a lot of stuff away, is what I'm saying. And I think that that's a real Web3 person, if that makes sense.
If you're giving it away, that's a different story, because the whole thing that I was pitched to be a part of was, I don't know if you know about NFT collections and how they work, but there's tokens that you can buy, and there's certain perks attached to the token that you have, so you can like collect certain dividends on an NFT if it does well, and that's a perk, that's a token that you have that only an exclusive group. And my whole problem with it was, and you know this better than anyone because you brought it up earlier, is the value that you provide people. And that's the thing I learned in school as well, is like you cannot survive without legitimate value. And the thing you run into with a lot of NFTs is, I totally understand if memorabilia is valuable to you, but if you market this token because you're this celebrity or this person where you could really convince your audience to buy something and you don't provide them with that value, you're going to end up with a bunch of disappointed people. So you got to find where you could really give some valuable shit through the medium of NFTs to your audience. And that was my disconnect personally, was what can my audience get out of this other than I liked the idea of dividends. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If
you're talking about like if somebody... Let me know if this is what you're talking NFT, about. And you sell it, then the original artist gets like a small percentage?
Right. So if you buy someone's NFT, it's like buying a share of stock in a company. And
I think that's still a cool concept, though, right? Like,
it's a fucking sick concept. It just didn't go anywhere. Yeah. It didn't. I mean, it has for certain people that are fortunate enough, like Photon Tide. He nailed it. Like, he found his lane in that shit and killed it. But you don't see a lot of that because of what happened with the public opinion. And I never sided with them because I know, like you and I both know how Web3 shit goes and what they could have been.
Sadly, Web3 is ruined by billionaires, you guys. If you guys don't know how Web3 works, it is ruined by billionaires. The reason that like Ethereum and all these cryptocurrencies are so volatile is because you have billionaires and millionaires selling and buying large amounts of the tokens. They're buying them, they're selling them, and they're only treating them as profit. They're not treating Ethereum as like something interesting to do on a, some sort of actual project that benefits people. That's not how it's being treated yet. It's being treated because most normal people don't know anything about Ethereum. It's so early right now that people are just treating it as an investment.
An easy way to simplify it would be just think, if you don't understand what Spooky's saying, think about how Elon Musk is a billionaire and he bought up the majority of the market of Dogecoin and could pump it and make a bunch of people rich and then dump it. That's how much of a market share you could have of a certain coin as a billionaire. You could control
think about this. Like, say you're a billionaire, right? And you bought 20% worth of like a certain coin. Like, say its market cap is $100 million. That means $100 million completely is invested into that coin. And then all of a sudden a billionaire comes around and they buy $20 million worth, and that makes it jump up, right? Well, whenever stocks or anything like that jumps up like that, like especially if it jumps up immediately like 20% in the example that I'm giving, that's going to make it look really good. It makes it look really enticing, and it triggers people's fear of missing out because they think like, oh shit, this is really going crazy. And this is actually a tactic that the very wealthy people that invest in these coins, they do that. They intentionally make it look like it's about to pop off. They'll spend a bunch of money to make it look like it's going to pop off to get people to invest into it. And then when a bunch of people start investing into it, they're going to sell and they're going to profit off of that. And I just want to reiterate the fact that Web3 doesn't mean that people are going to the technology is not evil, guys. It's the people that are evil. It's greed that's evil.
That's the problem. That's the tragedy of the whole thing. Is the technology is actually really cool,
unfair. It's unfair. It's unfair to say that. It's not fair to say that the technology is bad. It's not fair to say that NFTs or Ethereum or anything is evil. It just depends on how you do it. That's just all I want to say about it.
It's really like that's why I was saying it's just tragic how the public opinions fared on it, and you really can't blame them.
You can't blame them because they don't understand that you got million dollar millionaires and billionaires that fucking manipulate the market, and they think that it's normal people that are doing it, but it's not. These are not normal. These are not like it's not when Ethereum or Bitcoin goes up, it's not because a bunch of normal people are buying it. It's because some billionaires or a few billionaires or millionaires are buying it. Yeah. That's truly what it is.
That's how it goes for a lot of the stock market, specifically for
it goes for the stock market too. And the stock market has been manipulated by millionaires and billionaires for years. I mean, even Henry Ford, he had manipulated the stock market in the 30s or something like that. He lied and Dude, he lied and he said that he wasn't taking over the company. He made the stocks tank for his company. Basically, is all I'm going to say on it. He lied. He said that he was not going to be part of it anymore. He was giving his son the company. The stocks tanked, and then when they tanked, he bought them all back in. He bought them all.
I don't think presidents should be allowed to do inside trading. I think that should be a crime.
Yeah, man. If you disagree with that, you're an idiot. Any politician shouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, if you're a president, you're gonna have all the best insider trading tips. You're gonna have a bag. I don't know. There probably is a law against that. Right? Like, I hope there is.
Interesting conversation though. I've never had a Web3 talk with any of our special guests, so it's definitely an interesting topic. I would say I don't think it's it might be a little controversial, but I try to be as objective as I can about it. I think that you can still do good. Even though other people are evil, I think that you can still be good and you can still use the technology for good reasons and for good purposes. And I think that as a small artist, there's still hope to do something like that. So
I think if you're involved with that sort of thing, you should really take the time to educate people on what exactly it is you're doing. Because so many people have misconceptions about this really cool next step in what the internet could be and what artists can have and what creatives can live off of. And it's just unfortunate that it's been abused to the point where people aren't even willing to.
And I just really want to emphasize, Bleed, that the abuse is not coming from the normal average user. That is not what's happening. The abuse is coming from millionaires and billionaires that are treating all these things like investments and trying to make money. By the way, Heber says it's cool that you guys are talking about this. I appreciate that, man. I think that it's
no one talks about this, really.
Nobody really talks about it, and I think that it's fine too. I'm not worried about it. I think that there's definitely a conversation to be had because, like you said, like Photon Tide is somebody that we both are mutuals with, and he's had a really good success in his field, and I think that is a really good example of somebody that is a smaller artist that's doing well and making a living off of digital collectibles.
That's really the best case scenario of NFTs. That was my hope for it when it was first conceived, bro. I was like Photon Ty would be like the guy, like, oh shit, like he deserves a bag for what he's doing and he's underpaid for. I loved that idea. It was stolen. Like they changed the narrative on it. I'm like, I don't know, as a creator, if I could be involved in this. I was sad about it, like I really liked all that.
I just don't want you to be completely turned off by the idea because I think because truly what I believe in my heart, Bleed, is in the next 2 or 3 years, the market is going to change. Stock markets are going to go crazy again because millionaires and billionaires are going to start pumping it up again. There's going to be a gigantic rise of stocks and crypto that has been unprecedented. It's going to go past, I don't know when it's going to happen, but it will go past what it once has. More people have crypto wallets than ever before. People are going to.
Well, you know what crypto does? It really is a shift.
People are going to be robbed. I just want to say people are going to be robbed because the time to buy a stock or any sort of investment, even if it's capital, like any sort of land, even anything that you want to buy, that you want to buy it when it's low. You don't want to buy it when it's high. And when people hate on it the most, when people are the most worried about it, that's the time to buy. Like when it's most hated on. You know what I'm saying? Like a Tesla stock even. Like if you're just trying to make money, You want to buy a Tesla stock when it's low. Even if you don't fuck with Tesla, it doesn't matter. If this is about money, this is how the world treats stocks and cryptos. This is not like, it's sad because
during COVID you made a bag. If you're familiar with investing during COVID, you probably made a lot of money.
well,
Most
only if you
people
sold.
aren't.
If you held on to it like a lot of people did, then you did not make any money.
Dude, there's a lot of very obvious businesses that shit the bed during national lockdown, and if you invest in the right things, particularly Tesla during the summer, like my roommate in school made $27,000 off of Tesla spike, and I was like, what the fuck?
You know what's another
dude?
interesting
Like,
aspect? You know what's another interesting aspect to quote unquote making money from the stock market? Whenever you make money, you're taking somebody's money. I want everybody to be completely aware of the fact that whenever you make money, somebody loses money in every single situation in life.
It's just the business's growth. Like, as a shareholder of a stock, you just gain a percentage of their profit. Like, what do you mean?
What I mean is like,
What I'm saying
is, the point I'm trying to making is like when you have somebody that pumps
is investing bad?
when somebody pumps the market up, right? When they pump something up, right? Like Dogecoin or whatever.
We're talking about COVID.
Oh, I just mean stocks in general, just in general terms.
Okay, sure, yeah.
I'm just speaking in very general terms. Whenever you make money, that money doesn't come out of nowhere. It doesn't come out of the oblivion. It comes from somebody else's pocket. Always. So if I sell my merch to somebody, I'm taking their money.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
And that's exactly the same with like a stock or crypto. So when you see millionaires and billionaires making money in the stock markets, it's important to remember that these aren't like imaginary numbers that just appeared. They're taking money probably from a normal person that doesn't understand how stock markets work. You know what I'm saying?
I don't really know where you're coming from with that.
Really?
To be honest. Yeah, because like if
whenever money is exchanged, it always comes from somewhere, and that means it came from somebody else.
Okay, so if I put money into Apple,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. All I'm saying is this is how it works.
I just don't get what you're trying to say. Like, as an investor, but you said it after I told you my roommate made 27 grand off of it.
Yep. That means that $27,000 that he made, it could have came from him.
I can tell you how he did it. There's right before, like the summer, I think it was March when COVID first hit, right?
Yep.
March of whatever
2020.
year. Summer going into that, he like just dumped all of his money into Tesla because it hit the fucking gutter. You could go like look up where the stock was at.
Oh yeah, I know.
And it spiked after that. And I mean, if you were doing your research, I didn't personally do shit like this, but like you could have invested in airlines, you could have invested in certain hotels. Like, think about every business that was fucked by COVID and quarantine.
Yeah.
You invest in bread. That's what you do. It's very simple, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, if you have the capital to invest, you can make a lot of money. And my roommate, the spoiled kid that I knew, that I ended up living with in college, like, he had the capital. He showed me the shit on his E-Trade app. And I was like, holy fuck, like, you really just capitalized. I mean, a summer's 3 months, bro. That's 3 months worth of a stock just being the shithole and going up. You capitalize off that the whole time. So I'm just wondering, like, what you mean, like, whose money is coming out of the pockets when your stock in Tesla goes up on your portfolio? Like, whose money is that?
It's everybody's.
According to you.
It's everybody's. Everybody that's invested in it.
I never bought a Tesla. What if I never bought a Tesla? Is that still my money?
So what I'm saying is, anybody that's invested in something, right? So like, say that you hear the story of where somebody bought a bunch of crypto and they lost money, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So where did that money go? It went to the guy that sold it, right? It went to the guy that when it was at the top, he sold the share, and when he sold the share, he got his money, and that share became worthless. It became worth less.
Wait. Hold on. We gotta establish that, like, when you lose money and when you invest in something, that's the determining factor of that is just how the market moves.
But how does the market moves by people buying and selling? That's what I'm saying.
Right. So like, what you're saying is like your participation in the economy contributes to every single stocks movement.
Okay, so let me try to break this down. Let me break this down for you.
I get what you're saying, but like I don't get what you're trying to say.
All I'm saying is that it's a pool of money. Whenever like Bitcoin,
if you feel bad as a consumer because your money is contributing to another stock.
It's not a matter of feeling good or feeling bad. It's a matter of understanding how it all actually works. You know what I'm saying? I guess. So if Elon Musk owns 50% of Tesla stocks and he sells all of it, okay? If he sells all of it, all of his stocks, that means 50% of Tesla stocks got sold. That means the market cap goes down 50%. That means every single other person invested loses 50%. Yeah. That's what that means. Yeah. So what I'm saying is he took everybody's money. If he sells 50% of Tesla stocks and 50% of the market cap goes down and 50% of everybody's worth in Tesla that was invested goes down, that means Elon Musk took your money. That's literally what I'm saying. Yeah. And that's how it works with anybody. That's how it works.
Yeah. The CEO of the company gets all the money. Like the company gets the money.
But it could be any sort of person. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. I'm just using Elon as an example. You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's been a ton of shitheads who just like say, "Oh, this coin's going to the moon, and I won't fucking pump and dump on y'all. I swear to God, I won't rug pull," and then they rug pull.
But it's not.
They got coin.
But I'm not even just talking about rug pulls or pump and dumps. This is how the actual stock market. This is how the actual stock market works, and it's funny because do you know how you know what a 401k is, right?
Market share. Yes, I know that from.
So a 401k is you put money into stocks, and your company matches the amount of money or whatever. Yes, to a certain extent, they'll match the amount of money that you're putting away in your stocks, right? And all these people that have a 401k, these normal average Americans that all have 401ks, and they're like, yeah, I have great benefits. I have a 401k. They're buying stocks every single week or every 2 weeks, depending on whatever their agreement with their company is. That 401k is stocks, right? Those people that are investing in their 401k, especially if you're a union construction guy or some sort of union, whatever.
Hold on. I gotta stop you because your 401k could be. It depends on how it's set up. It could be in securities. It could be in bonds. It could be in your healthcare package.
Typically not.
No. Most people get like certain package of health benefits from their job, especially if you work for the state.
But I'm talking about a 401k is specifically an investment for retirement. It's a retirement investment, and the idea is you can usually choose. I have multiple 401ks, bro. I understand it completely. You can even choose to have like a risky 401k. This is something anybody in the whole country can choose. You can say, hey, I would like you to put my 401k in a very risky category, or a normal category, right? Or a very conservative category.
You can just do it yourself,
right?
You can just do it yourself.
So what I'm saying, Bleed, before we
finish, I have a hot take. Fuck a 401k and just invest in an ETF.
But dude, let me finish what I'm saying though, because it's really important. And then we're gonna be wrapping up pretty shortly here too. I just want people to be aware, because a 401k is money that you're investing in stocks, typically, very very specifically, typically stocks. Okay. Every single week or every 2 weeks, I have like 2 or 3 401ks, okay, through the jobs that I've worked. You as a normal American person that is believing that you're investing in yourself to retire someday, right? You're buying stocks, you're selling stocks, right? Or you're buying stocks, you're not selling them. You are not participating in the market. You do not sell those stocks as a normal American with a 401k. Your stocks do not get sold when they're high, and they do not get bought when they're low. They just only get bought.
That's true.
Okay, so this is an important thing to think about. Okay, Bleed, this is really important.
You're right.
As a normal 401k person in America, you are only buying stocks every week or every 2 weeks. It doesn't matter if they're at the highest price. It doesn't matter if they're at the lowest price. You just keep buying them. Okay. You do not know, the normal average American does not buy and sell stocks. They only have a 401k where they own some sort of retirement where they hope to live off it when they're 68 or whenever their 401k is accessible. So what's sad is what I'm getting to is that market that they're buying into is constantly being manipulated. It could go up, and their 401k could be worth a lot of money. And you could ask any friend. You could be like, hey, go check what your 401k is worth. 1 year it could be worth a ton of money. The next year it could be worth nothing. And if you think about that, it's a really scary thing, because what's happening is you have all these people gambling with your investments behind the scenes that you're not.
You know, a 401k. Who would set up a risky ass 401k like that though? Like, why would you do that?
Because people would want to have more
That's
money.
like that South Park episode where you give them all your money and they're like, and it's gone. I feel like most people don't really get a conventional 401k nowadays unless it's through their
No,
job.
that's very common, bro. It's the most common, and it's sad because it's actually kind of a little bit of a scam, to be totally honest. Because
that's what I'm getting at. Is like most people are. I'm hoping they're getting smarter. That's why I said just
people.
invest it.
All I'm saying is people will be like, "Oh, you shouldn't mess with crypto or anything. It's a scam." But then they're off at work, like being like, "Oh, I have a 401k retirement getting saved up." But it's like you don't understand that is the same thing. People are selling and buying those stocks that you own, and it's making your stocks worth less whenever they sell that.
I would keep it very straightforward. My opinion on crypto. I did well with crypto from 2021 and 2022, and then pretty much, like, realistically, I'm not trying to like trigger you about NFTs. I told you I was there for NFTs. I supported them. I supported the fundamental idea of creators getting paid for what they're worth. That's what I thought NFTs were for. Unfortunately, that's just not how it worked out.
No, it's not what it is right now. But it's all good, bro. We've been streaming for 2.5 hours, so we're probably good to wrap it up anyway.
Yeah, we could go on forever.
We could always go on forever, but it's an interesting conversation to be had, you know. And I just wanted to say thank you again for hanging out with me tonight, and we got to listen to a bunch of your music in the background and hang out and talk and get to know you a little bit better. And I think that it's definitely something to pick up on and for us to talk more about later.
Yeah, dude, I would love to do like.
It'll be interesting to see where like technology goes, you know, where artists kind of fit into that. I think that there's still a place. It's just a matter of how many people are abusing the system and trying to make a buck off of it, and how many people are using it for what it really should be used for, in my opinion.
I think that's exactly it. Is like people kind of forget about the real value to it because of the unfortunate celebrities that have taken over and just milked the fuck out of it. It's just a shame what happened to it, but I don't know. Eventually, people will recognize. It'll take a different shape. I don't think it'll ever be called NFTs again because the name has just been slandered to shit. But we didn't even get into AI. Like, we could have had the AI conversation for just as long. Like,
yeah, we talked a little bit about AI. I'm definitely interested in technology, so I think that technology is just really interesting, no matter what it is. You know, because we can't stop it, you guys. Like, there's no stopping technology. It's not like you can be like, well, we're not going to do that kind of technology anymore. It's like, no, that is going to happen. There's no stopping it, you know? And we can either choose to hate on it like a millennial and be like, well, you know what, dude, freaking Twitter's stupid and Facebook is stupid and I hate social media. Or you can look at it as a tool and be like, how could I use this to better my life? How can I use this to build a community or make things better for people? I think that it's important to like look at things in an objective way, to look at all sides and to understand as many sides and perspectives as possible. I think that that it's going to be really interesting to see where technology goes in the next 5 years, bro. 5-10 years. I think it's going to be.
Don't fight the inevitable. We can't fight AI, bro. That's a losing battle. Let's just accept it for the tool. I hope it creates competition, bro, because I know people are gonna go crazy with the benefit of AI as a tool. That's gonna be dope. It's overall gonna be a better thing for the industry, I personally think. But like, we could go on forever about AI, to be honest. Another time, episode 2 or part 2 of the episode.
We'll definitely stay connected, brother. Like I said,